Hello and welcome to QnColb. We have special guest, fake Cory Kinnan on. We couldn't get the real one, but this one to do. We also have Kolb here with some bullshit on his shirt.
Here we go.
And shout out to Greg in the corner. I can't get the, there we go. Greg's up there in the corner as the producer. Shout out to the producer. But first things first, because I had all this other shit on here. And I know I'm not going to get to it. We need Cory on here to talk draft. We want to talk the draft. We want to talk Browns draft. Senior Bowl just happened. I thought it was an interesting week of prospects and analysis here. I know a lot of people in Cleveland are locked in on that wide receiver position for 55 or even in third round. Cory, do you think this is a draft where that's where the Browns targets would be on? Or do you think there are some more intriguing prospects that would be around there at 55 and some other positions that may interest you more?
Yeah, I mean, I would lean wide receiver. I think outside of Amari Cooper, who's got a $20 million cap hit, who I don't think they can afford to lose, quite frankly, with the state of the rest of that room. So I think that they've pretty much got to lock in there. You have glimpses from Elijah Moore, and that was pretty much it a year ago. So, I don't feel good about the long-term outlook of the wide receiver room. So I think that's just a put it back on the T-ball stand and just keep swinging until you hit on something. I think you kind of have to, but there's a couple positions I would say, like, man, I wouldn't put it past them. And offensive tackle and offensive guard are both one of those positions that I just would say, hey, if they went either tackle or interior, it would not shock me. It wouldn't shock me at all. So I think defensive tackle, they've kind of proven over the past couple of years that they're not going to draft a defensive tackle till we get around the 90th pick, 100th pick. So, and it's a defensive tackle class where I'm not sure there's a name who would really come up that you'd be like, oh yeah, give me that guy at 55, unless somebody really slips down the board, So, but I don't think offensive tackle or offensive guard would not surprise me.
Yeah, to me, I have this question about Cedric Tillman. How long can he like? If he goes into training camp this year and it's like the second week of camp and he's still fucking up routes. Mm-hmm. I don't think that like he's done at that point. Like he'll be on the team. They'll give him shots in preseason. But as far as him actually like ever giving a shot, he's done. He's done because at some point Deshaun's gonna be like, no. Like same thing that happened with him and Joe Flacco, where it was like, I not him. Anybody but him get on the field because like that's the one thing you cannot have happen, especially when you're planning on throwing out a veteran quarterback. Is hey, if I check to something, you need to check to it. Like, I need to make sure that you're there, and it don't matter how talented you are. If you can't do it, I can't trust you out there. And I'm wondering, like, how long is that leash for that? Because I think that's the thing that really pulls this in either direction. And I really don't think that leash is long there, like, for the quarterbacks. I don't know how Andrew Berry is processing this because he might be thinking, oh, like, yeah, well, we're going to give him a chance. But, like, functionally, that dude got till July to get his shit together. Because, I mean, we saw Deshaun yell at him. We saw PJ Walker yell at him. We saw everybody but DTR yell at him. And there was a play in that game where I'm like, he most certainly ran the wrong route. Like, there's no way he did it. So I just don't, like, how do you gauge that situation with Cedric? Because he's very talented. He has the size, all the things that, like, evaluators would love. But he also has all the things that coaches it drives him crazy.
Which is so crazy because, like, Dane Brugler, like, everybody I talked to last year was like, Cedric Tillman's going to be the best value wide receiver in this class. He's going to slip because of his injury. But he's the best value pick at wide receiver you're going to find this year. Mm-hmm. Coaches love him, everything like that. He's a hard worker. And then he just comes into Cleveland, and I don't know what it is. But, I think you're right. And now he's got to learn some more wrinkles. Like Ken Dorsey's not coming in here to just abide by the status quo. He's coming in here to add wrinkles. He's coming here to kind of shake things up a little bit. That's the whole purpose of it. So he's kind of got some stuff that he's got to figure out, and he's got to do it pretty quickly. So if not, he's going to find himself in some Anthony Schwartz territory where it's like, yeah, man, you're on the roster, but like,
You're constantly going to be a source of battle between Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Perry during cut down days. So it's like, we're not going to use him. Like, I'm just telling you right now, he's not going to get used. Every time we throw him in there, you see the play sheet just go up in the air. Like, oh, you see it, Andrew? Like, there's always players like that on the roster. I'm like, man, this is where I hope somebody could get into Cedric Tillman's ear and let him know how close he is to becoming one of those. Because you never know, especially you play on one of these young teams. You don't understand, like, okay, yeah, I got time. It's just my rookie year. I messed up a little bit. I'm going to start out strong here next year. I'm going to start doing the right things 6 weeks into my second year. Yeah. It's like, you ain't got till 6 weeks into your second year, dog. You got till OTAs. Like, if Deshaun gets into 7-on-7s and you still ain't in the right spot, he's going to give up on you. Like,
right.
David Bell's gonna get those snaps.
And that's why, like, at the college level, it's you got to watch these guys who are coming out of these offenses, like Tennessee and Josh Heppel. All Cedric Tillman ran was nines and posts. Like, that's it. Mm-hmm. That's all he was doing. And the occasional comeback and slant. Like, his route tree was super thin. That playbook was super thin. And then he comes into an NFL playbook, and it's like, oh yeah, what I was doing at Tennessee was pretty freaking basic. And so I think. When you look at the college level, then you're like, okay, so which one of these guys are running these Heppel style offenses, these just verticals, and that's it. And how, like, can we adjust what their runway into the NFL is going to be, because it's gonna be much different. It's like, I doubt, like, what kind of hot route is Cedric Tillman having to? What kind of choice option is Cedric Tillman running at Tennessee in that offense? Absolutely none. Like that. Like, you're running vertical, man. Every once in a while, you're putting your foot in the ground and you're breaking towards the goalpost.
I was say every once in a while, he puts his foot in the ground, turns around, and then, like, tries to find a spot. Like, like there's some of that going on there. But I saw a couple wide receivers that were interested to me, all kind of up and down the board or wherever they are right now. We know draft boards right now are kind of just whatever before the combine. I thought. There was a kid from Western Kentucky that was pretty interesting. I can't remember, Malachi
Courtly.
Courtly. Yeah, I liked him there. I thought Jamari Thrash was somebody to look at. I know you like Tez Cole.
He had a rough week.
He had a rough week.
And I was like, man, you put Martin Emerson on him, it's over with.
So I actually feel bad for Tez, because coming into the week, it was Daniel Jeremiah put him in the top 30 of his top 50. He was mocking him in the first round. And I'm like, how did we get to this point with Tez Walker? Like, I was watching Tez Walker's Kent State tape last year. Like, oh, this guy's nice. Like, I see it with him. Like, he strides it out vertically. He tracks the ball really well. He's pretty slippery for a guy his size. But, like, let's be honest about who he is. Like, he's not very physical. Again, his route tree is predominantly vertical. He's got some drop issues. What are we doing mocking this guy like he's a well-rounded wide receiver? Like, this isn't like, he's my guy if the Browns double up and want to go with another one in, like, round 4, round 5. Yeah, go get Tez Walker. But second round, third round, no way, man.
Yeah, and I had flashbacks of Greg Little watching.
Don't do
Brendan
that.
Rice. Not him.
Okay.
Brendan Rice, because you look at Brendan Rice and you like, that's how they supposed to look like, man. 6'3", 220. You like, oh, he's giant. And then you watch him Russell on air. You like, he ain't slow. Like, he's pretty quick off the cut. And then you see the ball get thrown to him. And it's not that he can't catch Cole. It's he can't track the ball. Like, he has no idea where that ball is when it's in the air. Like, there was a corner that came out of Georgia that had a similar issue, but he was a corner, so it didn't matter as much. I think he went to the Green Bay Packers.
Are we talking about Stokes?
Might be Stokes. It might be Stokes. But I was like, man, it was a corner I remember watching. I was like, boy, he looks excellent until the ball's in the air.
It might have been Tyson Campbell who played.
Tyson Campbell, yes. Tyson Campbell's, yeah. Tyson Campbell. It was like, and I was watching it, I was like, man, when that ball gets in the air, like, there was a couple of interceptions that got thrown while he was on, like, a one-on-one. And I was just befuddled at how he chose to track this ball. There was one where, like, the ball was short, but he pushed off like it was going to be like a sideline. I was like, what the fuck is he doing? So that one was interesting to me, because you see him there, you're like, man, could that work? He's Jerry Rice's son. And then you watch him, and you're like,
he didn't get the
yeah,
gene.
man, that's going to get somebody fired.
We got a super chat here relevant to this topic from Rex Fortune. I think he's just listing off some prospects he likes. We have Mike Hall Jr., Leggett, Johnny Wilson,
Leggett,
Rook, or Horaro. Maybe you guys know who that is.
I do. Yes.
Walker, Murphy II, or Sweat. Any of those I'd be happy with this draft. Also, Spanford late.
I like Spanford.
Murphy II is not going to be there with the Browns pick. That's I don't
he's
think
a good
he's
player.
going to be there. He's good. I would love him on the Browns. He's not going to be there when we pick.
He's the only one I'd potentially consider at 55. Like if we're talking about 55, yeah, okay. Like that's cool. That's the one. T'Vondre Sweat, they just drafted Siaki Ika last year, and that T'Vondre Sweat declined to weigh in at the Senior Bowl, man. Like,
ooh, big boy.
What are you doing if you're declining to weigh in at the Senior Bowl? Like, I think you're telling people what they need to know.
He like, give me till February. Look, y'all already gonna be mad. Just give me till February to fix it, y'all. Look, there was a lot of memes about T'Vondre Sweat like being big out of Texas, and he's giant. He's really large.
When you saw him, were you thinking like 370, 380?
I don't know if that high. Like that high is crazy, right? But like, what was he? What's he listed
DeJuan
at
was
college?
4 bills at one point.
I'm gonna say DeJuan
but DeJuan's 6'7". Like DeJuan like 6'8". Like I can see how you could get to 4 bills. Like that's the Big Show. DeJuan is the size of the Big Show. Like if he was in WWE, they'd be telling you he's like Andre the Giant's son. Like no, Mark Henry only 6 foot tall, dog. Like. You know how like you believe Big Show's 7 foot tall, 500 pounds your whole life because he looks 7 foot tall. That's how DeJuan Jones looks. He's only 6'8", But if he was in wrestling, he would be 7'2". Like that's how big he is. T'Vondre Sweat's what 6 foot, 6'2" or something like that, 6'3".
I think he's like 6'3".
I'd be surprised if he's over 360, right? Like he can't be over 360. Like you can't functionally because he moved fine enough. I don't think he's like 380 or something like that. Because I don't know, bro. Like you would notice that.
When you refuse to weigh in, like my mind just wandered. Like, how heavy are you that you decided as a defensive tackle? How heavy are you that you decided? Nah, people don't need to know how much I
weigh. That is a question. That is a question. Like there might be multiple different reasons why he chose not to weigh in, but yeah, it's not a great look. He has to weigh in for the combine though, so like we'll see. But I don't know. Maybe he had a rough week the week before. He just wasn't at where he wanted to be at. It just wanted to say something.
What does a rough week entail for a defense? He
lost track of the programs. Sometimes you fall off the program and you gain a couple extra pounds, and it is what it is. You just gotta get right a couple weeks later. Like we'll see what it is on that. But I mean, he got big man game. Like it was basically just like, yeah, he's gonna play one position. But I don't know. The Browns drafted Siaki Ika, and I was like, there's no way that they draft Siaki Ika last year. It didn't make any sense to me. Look, Jim Schwartz.
I'm saying that's Jim Schwartz made the call.
He dropped some bangers this year, but look, man, there was a hot shot or two on that album. Like there were a couple of bad songs on that album. Like we can acknowledge it. I don't think that Siaki Ika will go be one to age well. Like I'm just turned a dump truck into a Ferrari. Like I don't know, man. I don't know, but yeah. T'Vondre is interesting. But I don't think the Browns are going to be interested in him. I'm surprised. What do you think about the big guy from Missouri? Both of them, Javon Foster and Darius.
So Foster, I'm okay. I mean, he's just a guy to me. He's what, a 6th-year senior. He's really benefited from the COVID. He's like a 5th or 6th year guy.
Jeez.
I think he moves okay, but I don't think his feet are super clean. He's long. I mean, he's got the build, but he's not a guy. He's not at the top of my list. He's not on my radar as somebody who's like, oh yeah, man, if I could get that guy, I'd love to get him in the building. If he's here, he's here. If he's not, he's not. Darius Robinson's interesting because he played defensive tackle last year for Missouri, and I absolutely hated his tape. Like I was watching Missouri's tape. I was like, who is this guy? He's like built in the lab. He's massive, like jacked out of his mind. He looks the part, and he's just getting blown off the ball. He's not two gapping well. He's not really even like that good of a pass rusher with his hands. But then Isaiah McGuire graduates, drafted by the Cleveland Browns, and they kick him out to 5-tech, and he's a whole new player out there. And he's still like the same build, still 6'4", 6'5", 280. Like that's a solid man. So I think he's a good player, man. He's got a really nice power profile. I would question, how does he fit in with the Browns' current room? Because I feel like Alex Wright's already a big end. I think Isaiah McGuire can play big end. So there's two names right there. But Za'Darius is probably walking. Like let's call it what it is. Unless he takes a 1-year, $10 million deal like Jadeveon Clowney did in his second year, he's probably walking. And so you might need that big end off the bench, because if Za'Darius walks, I would assume Alex Wright starting. Like that's just the assumption I made in my mind. I think he had a good enough year. He showed he's really strong against the run, came along as a pass rusher. I think he would probably start. So if that's the case, then yeah, maybe. But I would probably opt for, maybe a designated pass rusher, somebody with a little more explosiveness, a little more bend off the edge. But I guess that's, you got Ogbo Okoronkwo who comes in on those third downs and does that anyway. So maybe it doesn't matter all too much there. But he's a good player.
Yeah, definitely. And then let's talk about some of these tackles. I thought that's where the Senior Bowl was really interesting, the offensive line. It's funny because like the last 3 years, it felt like we've been bitching about the offensive line classes, not that good, or getting blown off the ball, all this shit. And then this year, it's like, oh no, it was actually a good class, or at least a good Senior Bowl class there. The guy who's the big riser out of this is Roger Rosengarten. He was the blindside protector for Michael Penix at Washington, right tackle. Played a little bit of both at the Senior Bowl, both in the game. I believe he played a little bit of left even, but I know it on 11-11s and 1-on-1s. He was flipping sides pretty frequently. Do you think that's somebody who can flip to left and be fine? Because he looked pretty athletic out there.
Yeah, I think so. I think Browns fans are going to have a cringe gut reaction when you're talking about a right tackle flipping to left tackle because of the last one that tried to do that and hasn't
what do you mean? They're always
great.
In my comment section asking if these tackles can just be flipped. Like, can we flip DeJuan Jones? Can we flip?
Listen, man, I'm not flipping a 280-pound man and asking him to kick a different leg. I'm not doing that. What are we doing?
I was like, DeJuan Jones is not who you flip, dog.
He is not Tristan Wirfs. Like, it's very two different players.
That is a right tackle.
I think so.
Right tackle.
DeJuan Jones is a permanent installation. Like, wherever he came in from, that's how he gonna play, dog. Like, no, he's too big to be learning new technique.
Yeah, the muscle memory would be extraordinary. But I do like Rosengarten. So on the side, I do a little bit of consulting for some agents, trying to identify some players. You should go out and sign these guys. And I'm a group of maybe 4 or 5 of us who have broken up conferences and kind of scout these guys and give agents recommendations. And last year we put a top 50 grade on Rosengarten and say, hey, this is a guy that could get drafted pretty high. He's athletic. His feet move real smooth. I think his core is probably a little weak for my liking. But again, core strength is something you can improve with an NFL programming and weight room and things like that. But really athletic, really long. I like him. He's a guy, like if the Browns go tackle at 55, Rosengarten's a guy who's firmly on my radar. So I like Rosengarten quite a bit.
Yeah, for all those people who like to clip Jet Wills, they will have nothing to clip with him. Like he did not leave a play to be finished out there all week. Like they would have to pull him off of people at the Senior Bowl. Where it's like, oh no, you blocked him, dog. It's done. It's over with. He's like, no, I'm waiting. Like, which would be a welcome chase to some. Kingsley Samatatia from BYU. What do you think of him? Because I saw him getting like 2nd round grades coming into this.
Yeah, he's a little raw for my liking. Like I think Samatatia is a pretty raw dude. Not that again you can't improve your hand placement, you can't improve some of your footwork, things like that. But if the Browns were to draft Samatatia in the 2nd round, I would be like, okay, I get it. I'd like it for future casting, but I would be pretty wary of starting him day one if that were the move that they were to make. I just think he's pretty raw, man. Yeah, the tools are there, but a little raw for my liking.
And then there was a wide receiver, Leggett, I believe, out of South Carolina. Yeah, Xavier Leggett. I talked to Kolb's guy, and he told me that he kind of reminded him a little bit of Des Bryant because he plays bigger than he is, kind of a physical dude, not necessarily going to be a blow you away type athlete. Like, what do you read on Xavier Leggett? Do you think he's do you think his style mixes with what the Browns are going to be trying to do in the future and what they already have in that role?
So I wish he separated a little bit better vertically. Like I wish he got a little more separation. I think he fits the bill of like Donovan Peoples-Jones and Cedric Tillman, but I don't know if that's exactly where they want this wide receiver room to go. The big bodies who can't really get open down the field. He can do a little bit more after the catch, but again, I think he's your typical like high 4.4, low 4.5 he came in measured in 2 inches shorter than what he was listed as at South Carolina's depth chart. So, he's listed at 6'3", he's 6'1".
Let me tell you something about that South Carolina depth chart. Everything was wrong on it, dog. Like, was it Spencer Rattler that had listed at 6'2" or 6'3"?
Yeah. Okay, Spencer Rattler's been 6 foot since day one, man. I don't know.
I was like, I looked him eye to eye on the field. Like, there's no way that's 6'3" at all. Like, but he had a good week at least. The quarterbacks people were like, I'm super disappointed with the quarterbacks. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, they all look like day 3 picks to me, and that's what they kind of look like before coming into it. And I guess it confirms it because we're talking about Spencer Rattler as the big shiner out of it. Which
Bo Nix is still going to go first round, and I just like what?
That's crazy to me. Bo Nix? Are you serious? Wait. He's really going to go first round?
I mean, I haven't seen a mock where he's not going first round.
Yeah, he's been projected to go first round like every mock draft, dog.
Is he older than Michael Penix?
They're the same age.
Okay, they're both old.
Yeah,
they're both old.
They're both 5th year guys. Yeah,
I don't understand. Like, if you're going to go with the old guy, like, at least Penix can move a little bit. Like,
but he's had 2 reconstructive knee surgeries.
Yeah, but like, he's still a better athlete than Bo Nix.
Here's hoping the Steelers do that. Hey,
man, in the first round, I don't know. Maybe I have a bad read on this, but I did not see a first rounder at Mobile. I didn't see anybody who made me go, man, that's what it's supposed to look like. It was a lot of damn, man. Just get him the ball, especially on the team that Bo Nix was on. Like, it was especially like that. Spencer was actually making some throws. It was like, damn, man, Bo, get the ball on him, and maybe we can see something.
So I released a mid-season QB primer where I had charted every single game up to like week 7 or week 8, like the halfway point, and watched these guys and released a mid-season on like 14 different quarterbacks, mid-season primer. And I got so much shit for how low I had Michael Penix and Bo Nix. I had Michael Pratt above him. I had Jaden Daniels at that point, even above them. Now Jaden Daniels is going to go first round, probably top 10. But like at the midseason point, people are like, "What are you doing?" But it's like, okay, if Bo Nix is going to go first round, probably. Like, I don't know why. If Michael Penix gets drafted in the first round, then sure. But I would take a Spencer Rattler or I would take a Michael Pratt over Penix, man. I just would. Like, when we're talking about the receivers he was throwing to at Washington, it's all verticals and crossers. Like, that's not very hard to like, I don't know. His ball placement is not great all the time. Like, he's got the best highlight reel you've ever seen. But if you're watching every single play and you're going down to down and not just the ones where he is dropping the dimes down the field, but the other ones he's missing, like that, I mean, that's a 3rd round quarterback to me.
Yeah, man. Look, if you ever want to know where people were at with Bo Nix and how it's like, it's just a disgrace to everything that they saw to take him in the first round. We walked out of there being like, Sam Hartman ain't that bad. Because Sam Hartman looked like the best quarterback. He was the best quarterback the first 2 days of practice on that team. It was like, oh man. I was like, Sam can throw that thing pretty far. I don't know if that's the case, or I don't know if Bo Nix and Michael Penix can't just throw the ball that far. But I remember being like, man, Sam's throw looks different than theirs. And that's what instead of, look, they had the big screen that has all the readouts of the zebra shit, and it was even saying like, yeah, that's who puts the most zip on the ball. And this practice session is Sam Hartman. Oh, and I like Sam Hartman as like a backup for like in like 5 years. I like Sam Hartman gonna be the type of dude that pops up on like a team every other year and throws you like a couple. Gardner Minshew. He's gonna be like Gardner Minshew or something like that. But that's not no damn first round draft pick. Goodness, great. Some team just got to be hoping and dreaming to take Bo Nix in the first round. That is not. I can see how an owner can force you to take Michael Penix. Like, oh, I saw him in college. He played in National. He's good. I can see how that kind of decision gets made. But taking Bo Nix tells me that you thought about this and still did it. And you gonna do that in the first round? Like, that's crazy to me.
Lance Zierlein just had a mock draft that he just released after the Senior Bowl where he had the Patriots passing on Drake May at 3 to take Marvin Harrison Jr., then trading back up in the first round to take Bo Nix.
Ugh. Poor Marvin. But please don't let that happen.
Don't do that to him. That's worse. That's worse than what he just had. That's worse than what he just had.
The NFL version of it. Yeah.
Don't do that to him. Don't do that to him.
I wonder at what point did Marvin Harrison realize he made a horrible mistake by getting his homeboy a job? Like, because that was what it was.
By week 4, he was like,
He was out there. Look. The preseason, before the season started, he was out there talking about, yeah, man, we used to do this in high school. It's gonna be nothing. We about to do this, dog. By week 4, he was like, man,
I miss CJ.
I wonder what Quinn Ewers would look like right about now. It got so far away from him. It was I don't know how somebody who got on the team this is not a comic core podcast, so we'll keep it brief. But I don't know how somebody got on the team. And look, they can call it what they want. I know they're gonna act like it was merit based, but let's be real. We know a homeboy scholarship when we see one. Okay, and that looked like a homeboy scholarship. And how
like, you know what was crazy? You know, by like week 6, all the other receivers was like, "Hey, look at your boy."
Hey, your boy's still cold. Because you know he was trying to gas him up to the other receiver. He a senior. He an older dude on the team. He like, yeah, no. My dog Kyle gonna get us, dog. Look. CJ Cold, I ain't gonna lie. You know, he ain't CJ, but he gonna get us what we need to get to. By week 6, I was like, you sure about that?
Hey, tell your boy I'm open. Please tell your boy I'm open.
Here's the thing. He got on the team because he's homeboys with Marvin Harrison Jr. And we still out here like, man, why don't you throw it to Marvin Harrison Jr. more? I'm like, come on, dog. At least feed the hand that fed you, right? Like, at least do that. I thought that's what we was going to get. We was going to get 1 million targets from Marvin Harrison Jr. He was like, nah, man, I'm going to try to spread this thing out and actually start to try to play quarterback. Marvin like, that's not what the fuck you here for? Like, you trying to play quarterback. What are you doing? Out here making reads. The read is me. Okay. Like,
hey, we've slandered Kyle McCord enough. Let's not get on that. Let's not start doing that.
We ain't slandered him. You know he on the homeboy scholarship. That's why he left once his homeboy. Again, pinnacle of homeboy scholarship. Hey, the homeboy left. Where he at now?
Syracuse?
Yes, he went home because the homie left. Okay, go look at Ole Miss roster. The second Robert Nkendichi decided he wanted to go to the NFL draft. Just a lot of transfers. Okay, homeboy scholarship right there. I know it when I see it. But anyways, back onto the draft. Are there any sleepers that like you don't feel like anybody's talking about that after the combine? People are going to really be getting super excited about because they're going to run like a fast 40 or going to have an impressive showing.
Yeah, so he was at the Senior Bowl. He left early. I'm not sure if he got hurt or not, but or might have just dipped because he played well the first couple days. But Maryland safety Bo Braid is a good player, man. Mm-hmm. He can play in the nickel. He can play free. He can play strong. He's got a really explosive trigger, good tackler. I really like Maryland safety Bo Braid. Who had some good tape that I think he was only there for 1 or 2 days. But Javon Baker stood out again. But he's another one of those guys. You know, he played in who's the former Auburn coach who's at UCF now? Why can't I think of his name?
Gene Chizik?
No. The guy with the
other one.
Yeah. Oh, geez. In his offense, just wacky offense. It'll come to me.
Was he Cam? Or after? Was he?
He was after Cam.
Yeah.
He's the one who ran like the funky motion options.
He the one had the DB playing quarterback in the national championship.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yes, the Trey Mason era. Yeah. But Javon
By the way,
Baker,
amazing that Auburn team gave that Florida State team a competitive game. But back to your point, Corey. Don't let me get sidetracked.
No worries. Yeah, Javon Baker's a guy that I like too. He's got really strong hands. He's kind of like a smaller, less explosive George Pickens, though. Where like the only thing he's good at is body control around the boundary and making really spectacular catches. Like that's what George Pickens does. Like that's pretty much it. I don't think he's probably only around like a 4.5, which isn't really an indictment. But again, he has no route tree, so I would want to see like, can he sink his hips? Can he do a little bit more than just what he was asked to do at UCF? But I like Javon Baker. He's an Alabama transfer too, so he played it the first 3 years at Alabama, transferred to UCF. So I like him. Javon Brownlee from Louisville had a great week, and so like. Every year now, I'm like, who's that DB that Andrew Berry is going to take when it gets to like 4th or 5th round?
There we
who's
go.
That guy he's just going to take a DB. Who's it going to be? I've got my eyes on Javon Brownlee this year. Like, I think that could be the guy. I think that could be the guy.
It's funny too because him and Andrew him and Kevin were DBs, right? Back in the day in the Ivy League. Yeah, they gonna get some DBs, dog. They got no more room for no defensive backs, and they go like, nah, we gonna draft the corner.
There might be some room.
They out here interviewing Quinyon Mitchell for no goddamn reason. They know it. They know he ain't got a shot, but they like, nah, we go talk to Q Mitch. We go see what he got. Just to compare.
And again, I love Ladd McConkey too. Like, if Ladd McConkey's on the board at 55, give me freaking Ladd McConkey. I don't care if he's a goofy looking white boy. He's a freaking killer, man. He's got it.
We need some hard workers on that wide receiver room, man.
Tell you, man. Diversity.
I'm here.
We need some diversity.
My sleeper pick at 55. Sleeper pick at 55. I really like UConn guard Christian Haynes, man. I really like Christian Haynes. If they want to go guard, Batonio's on the wrong side of 30. Teller's going to be here at least this year. But if they're starting to plan for the future, man, like Christian Haynes, he's 6'2", so he's a little undersized, but he's got the right arm strength. He's played in an outside zone system in college with Jim Mora, and he dominated every rep I saw of one-on-ones that I watched. Like, he's a dog.
With Harrison Bryant probably on the way out, I think that's probably for the best of everybody. Do you think they look at a tight end in the draft here? Like I'm hearing like AJ Barner or we just said the man's name from Minnesota. I thought he had a strong week. Spanford.
Yeah.
Did you see any tight ends or do you know of any tight ends that really have popped out to you that might be in the Browns range? And what kind of tight end do you think they look for next to Njoku? Since Njoku's somebody who, he can run routes, he can do the yak stuff, and he can block. So you're not really tied into getting one type of guy behind him.
And man, if they could find a way to land Theo Johnson out of Penn State, that'd be awesome. Not overly productive at Penn State because Penn State's passing attack is anemic, but he's massive, 6'6", and I've heard he's going to run. He's 6'6", 250. Heard he's going to run in the 4.4s of the combine. So that's a guy. If you're looking for like a tight end to flex out, who can do some fun things, Theo Johnson. If you're looking for 2 years ago, I loved Chigoziem Okonkwo out of Maryland. Went to the Titans. He's a really productive player for the Titans now. He's kind of that like undersized move kind of guy. Jaheim Bell out of Florida State, South Carolina transfer to Florida State, is kind of that same mold where he was like taking handoffs when he was at South Carolina. Like he was lining up as a shotgun running back, taking handoffs, stuff like that. So he's he's very undersized, but he's a fun player. At the Senior Bowl specific though, I'd say Ben Sinnott is the most appealing tight end that I saw. He had some hand issues. I saw him drop a ball or two, but really good blocker, really physical player. And he's probably the one that I'd point out the most.
Absolutely.
Corey, I gotta ask, and I know Browns fans don't want to think about this, but it's probably time we start thinking about this. Are there any running backs in this draft you're like, yeah, they need to take him?
Yeah. I don't think Nick Chubb's going anywhere at least this year. I'll say that.
Did
you guys lose him on your end too?
Yeah, we lost him. You see, we mentioned Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb. This.
Oh my bad. People love Blake Corum. My bad, guys. My internet's a little spotty today. I don't see the appeal of a 23-year-old power back like Blake Corum. I don't.
Thank you.
But
thank you.
I like Trey Benson out of Florida State a lot. Audric Estime is a freaking buffalo. If you look at that dude, he's a buffalo. So Audric Estime is on my radar as well. Bucky Irving's a little too small for my size to be like, oh, he could be an every down back, or he could come in. Like the Browns don't give Nick Chubb every single drive. They give him drives off. Like it's not just, oh, he's coming off the field on third downs. He gets full drives off.
We know.
Irving is,
we hear about it every time he gets a damn drive. Where's Chubb? Where can we get? It'd be somebody they like. It'd be Kareem Hunt. You would never know people like Kareem Hunt the way they used to talk about him when he used to have to get them carries when Nick Chubb was in there. Oh, this is stupid. He should fire the coach for having Kareem Hunt out there. Like, I thought you liked Kareem Hunt.
But then I also like Braylon Allen from Wisconsin. He's kind of dropped in the rankings. He was like the consensus top running back in the class. He's now more of like a mid-round prospect. But if you can find a way to get Braylon Allen in the mid-rounds, man, that'd be phenomenal. Yeah.
Awesome.
But guys, I got to run. I love the show. Have me back on anytime when don't have a 12-week-old baby that needs all my attention all the time. But thank you so much for having me on. Love you guys.
No problem,
man.
Cory. Appreciate
you don't have to
man.
apologize for being a father, man. Go take care of your
Thank you,
business.
Cory.
And we mad at you, dog. What you doing, raising kids? Talk about this ball, dog. That was Cory. All right, man. Let's get to the ruckus. I saw y'all asking me to ask him if he watches anime. Y'all are sick. Okay. In the comment section.
Hey, chat. We go get to the anime stuff another time. We're not doing that right now, but we'll get there. Don't worry, we'll get there.
All right, but you know what? This is my day. We're not talking about anime today. This is my day because you know what happened? Cliif Kingsbury is in demand in 2024. And I swear, I've never felt more unheard than I do right now. Like, these teams are fighting over Cliif Kingsbury. He decommitted. And it took another job for the Washington Commanders. This is where we are at with Cliif Kingsbury. By the way, why do people keep saying this stupid shit with Cliif Kingsbury? And I'll explain to you what I think the stupid shit is. Well, you know, Washington has to get Cliif because they're going to try to get Caleb. Why the fuck would you want to pair him with Caleb Williams? We just saw that. We literally just saw that, dog. Did we not just see that? Did we not just get the most disappointing year of Caleb Williams that we ever got? Like he has with every other quarterback. But we out here trying to extend Caleb Williams' misery. Like, what are we doing? Why do we just assume he's good at his job? He's giving us Greg, am I tripping? Have you seen any practical evidence that would suggest that Cliif Kingsbury is remotely good at his job?
Nah, he sucks.
What evidence is there, dog? Like, he does. Like, what evidence do you make a code? Just humor me real quick. Try to make the argument. Try to make the argument for Cliif Kingsbury being good at his job. Just humor me. I know you don't think this. Humor me.
Man, listen, I want to tell you something. I have never been above bullshitting and trying to push an agenda for somebody. I've never been above that. Cliif Kingsbury, I got nothing. I got nothing.
All right, man. We need, because it's deeper than Cliif Kingsbury. What happened with the Raiders? They got denied the opportunity to get scammed. Okay, like they tried to buy a scam and a credit card got denied. That's what happened. They couldn't even afford this scam. They was about to buy a lemon and got kicked off the lot because you can't afford this opportunity to lose money. Like, that's what happened to the Raiders, dog, because they tried to hire Cliif Kingsbury and they couldn't. And what makes this even more hilarious, Cole, they were interviewing the Scam Hall of Fame out there in not Oakland, in Las Vegas, which makes sense, right? The scam capital of the world. You out here interviewing the Scammer Hall of Fame candidates, class of 2024. I heard they interviewed Chip Kelly. Yes, that Chip Kelly. The one that you remember from Oregon 12 years ago. Yeah, the dude whose last been to a bowl game you've actually watched 12 years ago. 12 years ago. That guy. Yes, Chip Kelly. You know who else they interviewed, dog?
Hold on. Before you say it, I just want to say, salute to that black man for still scamming and still getting opportunities. Salute to him. I'm impressed.
Look, man, it's a trying time out here. They took away affirmative action. I need Hugh Jackson to just step out the spotlight for a little bit because he makes our arguments a little bit harder to make. Because if Hugh Jackson gets a job, I'm like, dog, they might have a point. Like, what? They interviewed Hugh Jackson. Now, look, I can see why somebody can fall for the Cliif Kingsbury scam. I can see why somebody can even fall for the Chip Kelly scam. The Hugh Jackson scam, I just absolutely can't see. Like, it ain't even, his resume ain't even that impressive before he started scamming, right? Like, his big claim to fame is he got a good year out of Andy Dalton.
He did get that good year out of Andy Dalton, though. He did.
Yeah, okay. Did he get that good year out of Andy Dalton, or did AJ Green? Like,
Fair.
like, this is another thing. We give coordinators way too much credit because we were like, oh yeah, man. Like whether people be anti-Ken Dorsey or pro-Ken Dorsey, like he made Josh Allen better. I'm like, Josh Allen made Josh Allen better, dog. Why we be acting like the players just have no agency over this entire situation? But nonetheless, back to my original point. They almost hired Hugh Jackson to be a quarterback coach. They almost brought Hugh Jackson back in NFL. Colb, we joked about this on an earlier QnColb where we was like, yeah, man, I feel like we need to be nicer about the Las Vegas Raiders because Mark Davis seems like the type of guy that if we get him in a hotel, if we get him in an elevator for 12 seconds, he the type of dude give us $12 million. And it almost happened with Hugh Jackson. We was like, man, if Hugh got that dude in an elevator, it would be a wrap on his pockets. He would get that job. It almost happened. It took one scam man saying, hey, dog, I ain't doing that, for them to be like, okay, I guess we won't hire Hugh. Like, think about this, dog. Think about this, chat. The Raiders got something going on so dysfunctional that Cliif Kingsbury turned him down to join the Washington Commanders.
Ooh, wait. Hold on. Because we talked about this before. I understand you hear Washington Commanders and you think, man, why would you want to go there? But I will say this. Outside looking in, that is a pretty decent situation to go to right now. A lot of money, number 2 overall pick. That's a decent situation to go to right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can say that. It's still the Commanders. Okay. It's still the Commanders. It ain't at the top of nobody's list. People like Bill Belichick might want to go to the Commanders because it's technically Bill Belichick ain't about to touch that brand until it's tested, right? Like until it's tried, true, and tested. Okay, it's good. You did all the work. Y'all back to being all right. I'll take that. Like, Bill Belichick ain't going to take him at that phase. Bill Belichick would take a franchise like the Commanders, like if somebody like Kevin Stefanski got to the Commanders, got them where the Browns are at, right? That's where somebody takes it from there, right? We're like, okay, it don't stink no more. Okay, yeah, I got this. Bill Belichick ain't trying to be the first person to take it after it's stuck. Like, you gonna have to prove yourself to me, son. Like, what are you doing? No, I understand what you're saying. It is a good situation. It's a better situation than, well, I don't know if it's a better situation than the Raiders, but shout out to Antonio Pierce because this is not going well, son. Like, I hope this ain't you. I really hope this ain't you, dog. I really hope this ain't you making these decisions. I feel like it's Mark Davis. This smells like Mark Davis. It got every Mark, because who else going to interview Hugh Jackson but Mark Davis, who, by the way, is close personal friends with Hugh Jackson?
Man, you got me wondering which situation is worse, the Commanders or the Raiders? Honestly, bro, I want to say the Raiders are worse. I don't feel good about it.
Not great situations.
I think the Commanders have more potential to be good, but like they would have to get a lot of things right that I'm not sure they're gonna get right.
By the way, Cliif Kingsbury took a job in the fucking cold to get away from the Las Vegas Raiders. That's how dire it is. He ain't never had a job without it being 75 degrees. Look, he coached at Texas Tech, Texas A&M, Arizona, USC. And he was like, yeah, of course I'm going to go where it's warm. Walked in there to sign them contract papers like, ooh, nah, I'll freeze my ass off in D.C. Like, that's how Cliif Kingsbury is willing to work in the cold to not work there. And he's Cliif Kingsbury. And he don't want to hit that lick. Nah, dog, something stank. Something stank there, dog. I'm telling you right now. I told you this, Cole. Everybody was on the Antonio Pierce train. And look, I was never going to stand in front of his bag. I'm happy he's got his money. But now that he has got his money, hey, he told me he built the defense around Robert Spillane. And that sounds like something that somebody easy to scam would say. Okay? Like, That don't sound like something somebody trustworthy says. Like, we all forgot that. I built the defense around Robert Spillane. Cole, we just gonna let that ride?
Listen. We letting it ride. We letting it ride because they looked significantly better when Antonio Pierce took over. He can get a crazy comment in. He can get one crazy comment in. You know what I'm saying? He can get one.
It only looked a lot better because he took over from Josh McDaniels.
All-time scammer. All-time scammer.
By the way, can we just talk about the Raiders real quick, man? They hired John Gruden and Mike Mayock. They traded for Antonio Brown. Okay, like after we found out about him, they traded for Antonio. Because remember, we found out about Antonio Brown when he refused to get traded to the Buffalo Bills, right? Like, by the way, what a timeline that is, Greg. If Antonio Brown gets traded to the Buffalo Bills, do they ever get Stephon Diggs? Like,
ooh,
that's a timeline. If you thought about that one,
that is crazy to think about.
Yeah, that was their solution. And look, man, I can see how they got to that point. Antonio Brown, if he can play that ball with a dude like Josh Allen,
hey, man,
you thought it was nasty with Ben?
Sometimes you got to remind yourself that Antonio Brown really is one of the best wide receivers we ever seen.
Look,
he really is.
This is gonna be one of them the kids will never understand, right? In like 5-10 years, the kids will never understand. They will be like, Antonio Brown, that's the dude who be having his stuff out, right? Like, you know, just be acting all kind of foolish. Like, yeah, look, we not proud of Antonio Brown. But let me tell you, when Graduation dropped, it was a banger. Like, we gonna talk about Antonio Brown like we talk about Kanye. Look, man, you just gotta cut it off right there at 2014. Basically,
cut it off right there.
Just cut it off right there. Once she stopped wearing that black and yellow, we don't need to worry about it. Like, we don't need to act like those albums happen. Like, yeah, it don't matter. Look. Everything we talk about Antonio Brown happened when he was a Steeler. And let me tell you something. Coldest wide receiver I've ever seen. Like, I don't know what Jerry Rice looked like in his prime. I wasn't alive for such a thing. But I imagine it looked a lot like Antonio goddamn Brown. Okay? Like, Joe Hayden was one of the best corners of his era. Liability. Okay? Liability versus Antonio Brown. Woo! Look, man, that would have been the most sickening. Like, you talk about Buffalo Bill fans going through heartbreak. Imagine watching that shit in camp, and it looks amazing. And then Antonio Brown decides to do some Antonio Brown shit and get himself kicked off the team.
Man, your heart would be so broken.
Ooh, you'd be like, man, it ain't that bad. We can make it work.
And then the video. You see the video.
That's not what got him kicked out. We can't talk about what got him kicked out on YouTube anymore because they banned that word. But he called him a snack. Oh. He called Mike Mayock. He alluded to him, being a snack. I would say
being a snack.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah. Called his boss that in public for everybody here at work. That's crazy.
And then Mike Mayock got fired.
Look. And that controversy is one of the least known controversies of Antonio Brown post Pittsburgh. That's how nuts it's been. You think of 12 other things before you think of that one. That's what got it started. Okay. But yes. Where were we at? Okay, well, let's roll back. Okay, the Raiders get scammed a lot. Okay. They hired John Gruden, which we all thought was a scam because we've been every owner. This is when we knew Jimmy Haslam was easy to scam, right? Shout out to Jimmy. He realized this and decided to get himself some protection in the form of Paul DePodesta. But Jimmy used to try to drop that bag out there. Look, if your ownership has ever thought that hiring one of these 3 coaches was a good idea. I'm telling you right now, your coach is easy to scam. I mean, your ownership is easy to scam. Have they ever tried to hire Urban Meyer? In the NFL, right? Have they ever tried to hire Urban Meyer? If they have, I'm sorry to tell you this. Your coach is easy to scam. Also, have you ever heard rumors that your basketball team was trying to hire John Calipari in the NBA? Yeah, he need to get off the controls, dog. He easy to scam. And John Gruden was the biggest on that list. Also, for a little while, up until like the last couple of years, Jim Harbaugh was on that list. Not because Jim Harbaugh is a scam. He's the scam that works, right? But it's because trying to hire Jim Harbaugh when it was clear he wasn't leaving Michigan at that time was just showing me how easy you are to scam. Like, bro, he ain't leaving. He not leaving. What you doing? You just getting him a contract extension. But yes, those are by the way, they followed that up with hiring Josh McDaniels and his homeboy. Okay, Josh McDaniels a homeboy hire. That's ridiculous.
You are vehemently disgusted by homeboy hires, right?
No, because look, man, I don't like homeboy hires. A homeboy hire is an art. I like homeboy hires, but you got to know how to homeboy hire, right? You can't just like Cope. You were kind of a homeboy hire, right? Like I knew you from Twitter. We friends. I was like, this show gonna be pretty good. You know, it wasn't no audition for this show. Like it was. I hit you up. You want to do this? Yeah, it's a homeboy hire, right? You know, Greg had to put in the application. You a homeboy hire, right? But it's a well-educated homeboy hire. I'm like, this gonna work. All right. He's my homeboy. I feel like we had the traits. This gonna work out. Okay. This show gonna be good. And it's been a good product. People are enjoying it, right? Here's where you gotta, people be hiring their homeboy and they know it's a bad idea. And that's what I can't stand with, right? Hey, man, if you want to hire your homeboy to be an offensive analysis, I ain't got no problem with that. Shout out to Nick Saban. He be hiring all the homies, right? Offensive analysis, though. He not about to hire Cliif Kingsbury to be no offensive coordinator because he know better. It's like there's limits to the homeboy hire. You can't put your homeboy in charge if you don't believe in your homeboy. So all I ask is that if you bring a homeboy, you believe in that homeboy because it's clear to me. Marvin Harrison Jr. did not believe in no damn Kyle McCoy. I didn't believe it when he was trying to convince me of it in the offseason. Yeah, man, it's going to be just like high school. Shut up, Marvin. You know that ain't true. You know this ain't true. You just caught passes from C.J. Stroud, and you know what Kyle's passes look like. Come on, dog. Come on, dog. No shot. So again, Quincy, pro homeboy hire, but got to hire your homeboy with tact because if you don't, it's going to be a problem. Hey, Kevin Stefanski found this out the hard way. Had to fire all his homeboys. They gone. All his homeboys are gone and filled with qualified candidates. That's just what it is. Because what, Alex Van Pelt was his homeboy. Mike Preef was his homeboy. Joe Woods was his homeboy for real. Had to go. Had to go.
Sorry.
Hey, had to pack you up.
Joe. I know you love Joe.
By the way, Kev was still a homeboy because you know what? Both of them got jobs. You know, he got on the phone, was like, nah, man. He probably, look, this is why we hear all these rumors. Kev out here being a homeboy, getting on that phone, doing that thing. Hey, you know how they is, man. Wow, they good. You know how the media be. You know how they just be blamed. Oh, yeah. Hire Joe Woods, man. Hire the homeboy. Yeah, he gonna fix that defense. Yeah. It wasn't my choice. It is. Get on that ringer for his homeboys, Alex Van Pelt. In New England, hey, you know they just want Deshaun to look good. You know somebody had to go. You know, just had to get on that ringer, and tell them lies real quick so the homeboy could get hired. Like, hey, Kev ain't got to explain nothing to me, okay? Because we both know that they were part of the problem. Like the last couple of years, we all know this. Because Kev give you 3 years to be like, nah, that's not working. Like he will give you some years to like realize, okay, that's like everything else is cool, but that's not. You need to move off that. But hey, man, they still get jobs afterwards, and you know what? People talk all this shit. Let me tell you, people see that. People see that, and let me tell you, he gonna get some qualified candidates if he ever got to move on from his current staff, because they gonna be like, "Hey, man, you get a job at the Kevin let go of you, dog."
Not only do you get a job, and you get good PR. You see what they were saying about Alex Van Pelt?
Oh yeah, that was strictly the homeboy PR. I know it when I hear it.
I was like, and you get good PR, man.
He was the glue guy. I'm like, yeah, Kev went in there and sold them lies. He went on that. Look, put Kevin Stefanski as your reference on your job application the next time you do it. See if you get that job, because I think you will. Kev just asked him for Jeremiah. Oh yeah, he was awesome. Yeah, one of the best employees I've had. Click. Hey, I know a good homeboy when I see it. And look, Kev looked like a good homeboy. Like, he got all the tools.
All the tools.
All the good homeboy tools. But yeah, man, he brought his homeboy in there. And it's one thing when you a known scam artist and you hired a known scam artist. It's another thing when you hired a known scam artist and his homeboy. And I'm talking about the Raiders now. Okay? Like, that's where I get disgusted with it, because it's like, you let him and a friend in? Like, nah, man. You supposed to close the door when he come knocking. Like, you know what it is. We knew what it was. And oh yeah, go ahead.
We got a super chat here on the topic from Professor Chaos. He says, most cursed coaching staff: Hugh Jackson head coach, Cliif Kingsbury OC, Joe Woods DC.
Oh Lord!
Hey, Joe Woods a little bit too qualified for that now. Like, y'all can't do this to Joe. Joe just had a bad time, y'all. Like, we can't put him in the worst. We can't put him with Hugh Jackson.
Disagree. Fuck him. Hey, Q, I say this all the time. You know me. If you follow me on Twitter, you know me. I'm very, very, very pro-black. I am. The Browns have driven me.
Don't say the Browns. Hugh Jackson.
Black coaches. The Browns did this to me. Hugh Jackson and Joe Woods are the only time I have actively rooted for black men to get fired.
No. You got to add Ray Farmer to that too.
Ray Farmer, again, the Cleveland Browns. That's 3. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, Ray Farmer.
That's 3. Crazy.
Ray Farmer had us hit that. It's unfortunate.
Sometimes you gotta make changes.
It's unfortunate. It didn't work out for him.
We said that in public.
Yeah. Hey man, Professor Chaos, we can't have that staff happen. I'm sorry, dog. Man. Hugh Jackson and Joe Woods.
Oh.
The Miko Ryans would never get a job if that if such a coaching staff were allowed to exist. If we no, can't. Somehow Cliif Kingsbury come out of it fine though. Right. Cliif Kingsbury come out of it the head coach. Let me tell you something, man. Let's get back on Cliif, man. I'm back on Cliff's ass. All right. He's done bad things his entire career and continue to get him promotions. I haven't seen something like this since Lane Kiffin. And Lane Kiffin was objectively good at his job at times, right? Like, you could point back and be like, hey, no, Lane was kind of cooking there. Lane had some. You ain't never said that shit about Cliif Kingsbury. People be calling him an offensive genius. Okay, what's he a genius about?
Hey,
what does he do?
Can we stop calling coaches offensive geniuses? Because every time somebody get the genius label, 90% of the time they don't deserve it.
We be calling people geniuses like we can't see the football. Like they're playing a different brand of football. Like, oh, yeah, you saw that extra stuff he was doing out there in Arizona? You mean these screens he was running out there with fucking Kyler Murray? Yeah, I saw that shit. Cliif Kingsbury, man. He ain't, like, when have you ever watched Cliif Kingsbury's teams and been like, man, the coach is the true star here? You know how he got his start, man. You know how Cliif Kingsbury got his start, how all this shit started, and it's appropriate. Greg, do you know how Cliif Kingsbury got his start? What's
when he was coaching Patrick Mahomes in college, or was it before?
Oh, no. This is how he got the opportunity to coach Pat Mahomes in college. He was the offensive coordinator for Texas A&M circa 2012. They gave him credit for what Johnny Manziel was doing.
The guy who doesn't read the playbooks?
Yes! 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 They gave Cliif Kingsbury credit for Johnny Manziel as if Johnny Manziel listens to coaching. This is where this all starts, dog. He got credit for being the offensive coordinator for the Texas A&M football team when Johnny Manziel beat Alabama, and that shot him to Texas Tech, where he interacted with some guys who would be some pretty solid quarterbacks at other places. Senior Bowl MVP, Davis Allen, much better at Cal than he was at Texas Tech. Go look it up, read it up. I'm not lying to you. We know Baker Mayfield was better at Oklahoma than he was at Texas Tech. Mm-hmm. And everything you know about Pat Mahomes ain't from college. As a matter of fact, you be reminded every time they show a picture of it, kind of, he went to Texas Tech? Like what? Every time I see a picture of him from Texas Tech, I'm like, I forgot that happened. Man. Like what? It don't even feel right. It don't even feel right. You're like, well, he went to the same school as Michael Crabtree? Like,
Cliif Kingsbury was his head coach. And Mitch Trubisky got drafted ahead of him in that draft.
It's not just that happened, Colb. It wasn't very controversial at the time.
Like, nobody questioned it.
It wasn't very controversial. Nobody because they were like, well, Pat's tape's not that great. Like he has all the tools. That man won the MVP his first full year playing in the NFL, and all he did was get away from Cliif Kingsbury. Like all he did was get a real coach for a year, and then he turned into the best thing. He turned into Michael Jordan. Think about that. That man had football Michael Jordan at Texas Tech. What bowl game they playing in? Bro, Greg, can you look up the bowl games they played in with Texas, with Pat Mahomes at quarterback? The bowl games that Texas Tech was in?
Yeah,
because I know they ain't never went to no damn Cotton Bowl unless the Big 12 champion was in the national championship or something like that. But they wasn't even second in the Big 12. Just atrocious. Okay, atrocious. He didn't get the most out of Kyler Murray. He don't get the most out of anybody. And he get these promotions. He objectively sucked. Had 2 late season collapses at Arizona. And he still got a job at USC. And then he sucked at that job. USC wasn't even contending like that for real. They was worse. Caleb Williams looked as bad as we've ever seen him. We out here questioning whether that man who runs like Lamar Jackson and throws like Pat Mahomes should go number 1. We doing it again. Cole. Why? Because of this motherfucker. Okay.
This is real hate. This is real hate right now.
How am I like? I feel like I'm the only one to be like, yo, y'all don't see this. Like,
you're not.
I don't see this happening again.
You're not the only one, but you are the only one who's like voicing it.
I feel like Al Gore talk about climate change in the 90s, dog. I'm like, wait. Nobody's watching. Keep laughing, dog. I'm not joking. Y'all don't see about that. It's an iceberg, dog. Like, what you mean?
In 2017, it was the Birmingham Bowl against the South Florida Bulls, and they lost.
Wait, that's the only bowl?
Yeah, they were in 2015. They were in the Texas Bowl, which they also lost to LSU. And then there wasn't another bowl appearance for Texas Tech until the 2022 Texas Bowl.
This motherfucker had Pat Mahomes and wasn't bowl eligible. Did that happen? Did that really happen?
Yeah, there was also in Cliif Kingsbury's whole tenure at Texas Tech, they didn't even go to that many bowls. They had in 2013 the National University Holiday Bowl, And that's the list of bowl appearances I have.
He ain't even get to the BVAA Compass Bowl. Like, he couldn't even get to one of those. This motherfucker out here playing in December 22nd. Like, are we serious? They got his bowls on ESPNU. And people be like, well, he had great quarterbacks. He should get credit for that, Quincy. Why are you hating on him? He had great quarterbacks. He had great quarterbacks. He could do shit at Texas Tech. At Texas Tech. By the way, this dude has had great quarterbacks at every job. At every job. He's had a great quarterback for that round of quarterback play that they were in. He had it at Texas A&M. He had it at Texas Tech. Every year at Texas Tech had somebody who at least made an NFL roster at quarterback. And he still... By the way, he got Kyler Murray when he went to Arizona. Really good quarterback. Really good. Went to USC, had Caleb Williams. And this man has coached maybe one meaningful game in his entire career. He's had that many quarterbacks, and the one meaningful game he coached in is famous for Kyler Murray just completely fucking melting down it. Every other game ain't never mattered. And this is the dude we keep giving opportunities to. And look, I know some people think I'm trying to make some kind of comment about privilege and all that. This ain't even privilege, dog. This ain't even normal for everybody else to be out here getting these opportunities after failing this hard. Like, Josh McDaniels could never get this opportunity after sticking this much. It's just something about him. He just keeps getting these opportunities. And I'm like, does nobody check the work? Like, does nobody reference the resume? Think, Cole, you know every quarterback he's ever had. That's how good his quarterbacks have been at every level. You know every single one of them. You can't name me the big game he's ever won. You can't name me one. He can't even get an upset.
Hey, man, you're not wrong, and that's what makes it so fun.
The more I look into it, it's never I look into Cliif Kingsbury and I find some shit that contradicts what I'm saying. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I'm wrong. It's always the harder I go on it, the more shit I find out where I'm like, oh yeah, nah, I'm 10 toes in on this, dog. I never find out information that makes me want to rethink my take. Like, I've been waiting for it. I've been waiting to see what everybody else sees at Cliif Kingsbury. Every time I get a counterpoint, like, that's stupid. Look at this. Okay? Like, how does this dude still get the job? Like,
we got a couple super chats related to Cliif Kingsbury here. But before we get to those, if I could just throw my own super chat about Cliif Kingsbury, the one thing I think about with him is how, like, before this NFL season started, the way people were talking about Kyler Murray, like he was like a bottom 10 quarterback or something. And then he comes back and it's like people forgot Kyler Murray's good at football.
Because of Cliff, it happens with Cliff. This is the black hole of Cliif Kingsbury. Like, I gotta get a shirt because so many quarterbacks have fallen into this black hole. Baker Mayfield had to walk on to Oklahoma after he got done with Cliif Kingsbury. Okay, like that. Like, we talk about Baker Mayfield as if he walked on from the trailer park onto Oklahoma barefooted with no opportunity. Dog, he just got back from working with Cliff. It was basically the same thing, though, right? Like, it basically did the same thing for his career.
I got Caleb Williams' college stats right here. And going from just not Cliif Kingsbury to Cliif Kingsbury, he threw 900 less yards, 12 less touchdowns.
Yep.
And he went from averaging, when he was rushing the ball, 3.5 yards a carry to 1.4 yards a carry.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. What more do you need to see?
Cliff took one of the most hand down. Yeah, that's one of the greatest prospects I've ever seen in Caleb Williams. And now people out here questioning it. That tells me how shitty he is, dog. Like, just his presence. I don't know what he did at USC. I don't think he really did that much. Just him being there was enough to make Caleb Williams' draft stock drop 50%.
I've seen people mocking Caleb Williams to go, like, out of the top, like, 15.
Okay, no, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Somebody's on drugs.
Somebody's about to get a deal on Caleb Williams.
But the super chats, Soul Train says, Cliff that 10 out of 10 who cheats, but you want to turn.
Whoa.
And after that,
whoa.
That is certainly a way to look at
it.
So something going on there.
Rex Fortune has one as well. That's It's very American during this month. All these mid-men are getting that much attention. Cliff has been carried so much by great quarterbacks.
Hey man, look, all of America has made Cliif Kingsbury money. He done did this on the back of black and white quarterbacks, which is shocking. That's the thing with Cliff. He got people to not believe in All-American Baker Mayfield.
He's an equal opportunity scammer.
Hey, he got Baker just like he got Pat. Okay, like
he said, black, white, yellow, it don't matter.
Hey, you know what I mean?
Scam you.
Yes. Now it is a little bit disproportionate. His hit rate. I'm just gonna go use that out there, like Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield. That's 2. You know. We sitting at like 4 on the other side, but yeah. Look, one thing about Cliff, can't call him a racist.
That's crazy.
He fell with everybody, baby.
Can't call him.
Hey, so Drake May, you are not safe. Cliif Kingsbury being an offensive coordinator, the team that has the second pick in the draft is the scariest shit of all time. And it went who has the first pick? The Bears?
Yeah.
Hey, I know it's too late, but can I play the XFL for you and get drafted next year, dog? Like that. Fuck all of that. No, somebody's career is getting ruined. I'm sorry. Between Drake May or Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels, hey, man, I'm sorry. It's about to happen to one of y'all. Probably
you know what? I think Jaden Daniels probably going to end up in the best situation.
We might walk out of here. Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback because look, Chicago got regular bad franchise problems. The Commanders are the Commanders. And they got Cliif Kingsbury. I bet
super chat. If you want to hear it, it's from Autistic Kid. Cliff's just Eddie from Ed, and Eddie play calling.
Hey, that's crazy because Eddie was definitely a scammer. Hey, that's a good one. Oh man!
As a fellow Cartoon Network enjoyer, I agree that is pretty apt.
That's pretty accurate. I know how you feel about the Cartoon Network kids. Q, we know.
Yeah, I was gonna let it slide, man. I was gonna let y'all have y'all fun. See, this is what I mean by unnecessarily aggressive. I'm saving all my aggression for Cliif Kingsbury.
Oh man!
Hey man, I bet Caleb Williams was like, he heard that thing. He was like, okay, he took the job in LA, in Las Vegas. Okay, cool. I ain't going to Raiders. Then that alert hit. He's trying to go to the Commanders. Hold on. Hey, Dad, I'm going to need. Yeah, I bet he called his dad immediately. Like, I need you to book an XM radio gig and get me out of the number 2 spot. Talk me out of this, dog. Go full Odell's dad. I'm not about to play for no Cliff. Not again. Not again. Hey, Greg, here's what kills me. You just read out his stats at USC. Would you go from reading those stats and being like, you know who we need to keep around if we're going to draft Caleb Williams? Cliif Kingsbury.
That is crazy.
This is where they're at. It ain't even like they trying to go after Lincoln Riley, right? Who's had him for 3 fucking years, right? No. They try to get Cliif Kingsbury.
Did you guys see that? You saying that just made me think of a conspiracy theory I have in my head now. But did you guys see that apparently somebody in Caleb Williams' camp called into Colin Cowherd's show specifically to say, we are okay going to Chicago? So maybe they did that to avoid Washington.
I don't blame
because they saw the writing on the wall. We fought a 2. I might be back with him. Anything. Look, hey, Caleb ain't gonna be talking about trying to own the team no more. He gonna be up there. How you doing? How you doing? Nice to meet you, sir. like he gonna get his Russell Wilson on, like Russ did at the Senior Bowl. I'm trying to get drafted, bro.
I got to do what I got to do, baby. It is what it
He
is.
gonna be in that pro. He gonna be at that pro day. Hey, let's go. Clip it up. He gonna be Mr. Teammate. His wife is like, who the fuck is this dude? High fiving after every play. He gonna be doing all of that stuff.
Calm down, buddy. Calm down.
He gonna be like, you know what I think sometimes quarterbacks do at pro days? I think they be faking like they coaching. Like, you know how they come up to you do all that. You know what I mean? They just be saying like regular shit and it just be pointing like this. So the scouts be like, oh, look at him. He's encouraging his teammates to run a better route.
It's like, I don't want to get us off topic here, but it's like, what was that thing with Baker Mayfield and Hugh Jackson where he did the yeah.
My man culture appropriated. If you know, you know. And Hugh Jackson was like, that's my quarterback.
I was like, nah, see, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
And his probate sounded like a Zeta. And that was enough for Hugh to go, yeah. I want to know Hugh's reaction when he got to Grambling and realized that everybody knew that. He was like, wait a minute, Bank got me.
Man, the greatest thing Baker Mayfield ever did was just give Hugh Jackson a hard time. I will always remember those times fondly. Him just be on Hugh ass. For no
reason.
He was on Hugh ass.
For no reason.
Hey, man. That's the biggest that moment in time is when I was the biggest fan of Baker, where he was just on Hugh ass, dog.
He just picked that fight. And the messed up part was we all knew it was wrong, but we all did not care because we had just blamed Hugh for everything that went wrong with Cleveland before that. So it was like, yeah, man, fuck him. ESPN was trying to tell us to be reasonable. He got fired. He can't choose where he works. And we was like, nah. Fuck that man. Okay.
I've never in my life seen a player stare down an assistant coach the way Baker Mayfield did in Cincinnati after
Dog, the
fired.
whole team was on it. That's where I'm like, that's why Hugh can't get no job no more. His whole thing was like, the team loves me. David Njoku had it. No. Demarius Randall off the ball and handed it to that man, and Hugh was clueless about what was going on. At the time, he was like, yeah, the young man handed me the ball. I guess that's how much they respected me in Cleveland. It's like, no!
We are proving a point, sir. That is not the point we are proving.
Demarius Randall of all people. Like he thought that's who was that. He thought Demarius Randall was out here just like, yeah, let me show him that respect. Demarius Randall. Google Demarius Randall. Okay. And tell me if that's somebody going to hand you a football in the middle of a game out of respect. What? That's what I was like, man. He ain't even good at scamming no more. Like he washed. He a washed scammer. He can't even convince me of that. That's just come on, man. And look, he had to use some of his best work. Remember, he tried to convince the world that Cody Kessler was his choice.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you got to trust me on this one. Cody's gonna be that guy. Then what happened? He went at the old ass RG3. Who, by the way, if we talking about beef, it's scammers. How much of y'all known about this RG3 Jay Gruden beef? We're kind of late on it, but have you seen this stuff?
I've seen it. Yeah,
I seen Will Compton talking about it too, because I guess he was on that. Well, they weren't the Commanders back then. You know what they were, but he was on that team back in the day.
The football team.
The football team, and he was talking about it. I was like, oh, this is deep.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's deep. It's deep, man.
It's deep.
Hey, look, he blamed his career on that man. RG3, one of the biggest what ifs of all time. He blamed that squarely on Jay. And not just that. This ain't no, hey man, I disagree with how you used me in the football sense. No. This that I'll respect you as a man. Stuff.
It's like, no, it's deeper than that. It's deeper than football.
When Jay tried to get back at him on those tweets, he was like, come on, are you serious, RG3? You know what happened. He was like, no, say that shit. I was like, oh, he's not playing?
I was like, this not the same man.
RG3 out here trying to fight. Like,
all RG3 does on Twitter is just talk about how much he loves white women. And he was like, no, we got smoke. We got beef. He really broke character, dog. He broke character.
He was like, but not him. RG3 out here just be having a good time, wearing goofy socks, weird suits, and be running against birds, and he hate you. Like, look, I know people think RG3 is a clown and all of that. And look, there's some things that he does that just like makes me feel like he be on the clownish side of it, right? You know, he be saying some goofy shit on television. I understand where people are with that. But man, for that dude to hate you that much, you gotta be an asshole. I'm sorry. That's not somebody who has beefs. Like, that's not somebody you close the door, you talk with, they just don't like a bunch of people. That's somebody who always has nice things to say. You've been around people who is like, they don't ever want to say anything bad about anybody. Except that motherfucker. Jay Gruden got to be an asshole, dog. He's got to be an asshole. Like,
we got a blank 964 with a super chat here, kind of related to all this, that says, just simply, in hindsight, I wish Cincinnati gave Hugh the head coaching job.
Ooh.
Didn't they interview him after that year they fired Marvin Lewis?
That was a homeboy interview though.
That's all that was. Like, is Marvin Lewis on the Raiders staff now?
No, that can't be true.
He is the assistant head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Antonio Pierce ain't got a chance, dog.
Oh man,
Antonio Pierce ain't got a chance.
I understand what he's trying to do. It's
over. It's over.
On, man.
It's over.
That happened like a couple days ago. He was at Arizona State as a special advisor until February 1st.
Mm-hmm. Then Arizona State, ain't they most famous for not having Jaden Daniels anymore? Ain't that what Arizona? That's their most prominent thing, is that they lost Jaden Daniels. Hey, and didn't they hire Herm Edwards? Yep. Wasn't he not? Nah. This is not a good pipeline, Greg. Arizona State is not a good.
Yeah, they did hire Herm Edwards. I think they might have just let him go. Let me see here.
Oh my God.
He got fired like
last year. Wait. Yeah, didn't they have Kevin Sumlin too? Or is that Arizona? Arizona had Kevin Sumlin.
Yeah, they fired Herm Edwards 2020 after they lost to Eastern Michigan.
He loses Eastern Michigan.
That would have been a Marvin Lewis hire.
Ooh. He probably was like, let me go get some head coaching experience. And to be fair, Marvin Lewis has a bunch of that, but yeah, man.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's over, Antonio. Hey, I hope you make it out the end of this year, brother. I hope you make it to a full clean 12. I really do. But you ain't making it to 15. It's over. I'm sorry. This is not looking good. I'm not hearing good things. The guys he's interviewing, dog. I'm not about to plant my flag on this one. Like, absolutely not. Nope.
Hoping for the best, expecting the worst.
Yeah. He got Marvin Lewis, and they interviewed Hugh Jackson. By the way, Marvin Lewis, that's a hell of a homeboy. He's still trying to make it happen. He the only person on earth trying to get Hugh back in the NFL. He is the only person on earth trying to make this happen.
Listen, man, you got to have good homeboys, man. It's an important part of life, having good homeboys.
Hey, Marvin Lewis is like, we ain't going to win anyways. I might as well have some people I can smoke cigars with. You laugh, but that's how decisions sometimes get made.
Hey, you'd be surprised how many decisions are made like that.
You want to know why Anthony Mackey in so many movies?
Hall of Fame, homeboy. Hall of Fame, homeboy.
For a certain audience. But I'm Tupac, motherfucker. Hey, is Cliif Kingsbury the active version? The coaching version of Anthony Mackey? Where he's like, how the fuck he still can get his shit, dog? Every time I see Anthony Mackey in a new role that's not a Marvel movie, I'm like, come on, dog, come on. Like, we still doing this? Every time they cast Anthony Mackey as a thug, I feel the same way as about when teams hire Cliif Kingsbury to be an offensive coordinator. Like, we've seen this not working. Why do we keep doing this?
Hey,
he clearly cannot pull this off.
Be fair. At 8 Mile, he pulled it off at 8 Mile. It was cool. It was cool.
No,
He
he
pulled
did
8
not.
Miles.
His whole thing in 8 Mile, Cole, he only pulled it off because the whole thing in 8 Mile was that he was a dude who was trying to act like a thug, whose real name was Clarence, who had really good parents and went to a fucking private school. That's the only reason Anthony Mackey pulled that off, because you're like, yeah, I see it.
It worked. I was like,
Yeah, but he wasn't no thug. He was a fake thug. And yes, that worked. That's the whole thing with him. See?
Well, now that we've gotten to that,
him as Tupac. Like, but my Greg, go ahead, man.
I was going to say, now that we've gotten to the Marvin Lewis, Anthony Mackey part of the podcast, should we finish up these other super chats we got here?
Yes, sir. Let's go ahead.
All right. We got an older one from Professor Chaos that we didn't get to. That was, hey, Q, could you tell us who the Browns are drafting since AB reads your playbook?
If it were up to me, we drafting a fat motherfucker, 55, and it's going to be Roger Rosengarten. Yes.
Hey, man, I did a mock, and I put it on Twitter. My first pick was Troy Franklin from Oregon, who's absolutely not going to be there. 100% not going to be there. And my next pick was Roger Rosengarten. And people were like, Domo quoted it was like trash. I was like, what? Like,
how does any look? Here's the thing about pre-draft mocks. People be having such great opinions about these. What are we measuring against? what are we measuring it against? This is literally, hey man, just put it out there and start some conversation. People be like, oh no, this is a terrible mock. Like, come on, dog. It's a fucking mock draft.
And everybody got the Browns taking Blake Corum. I'm telling you right now, if we draft Blake Corum, I'm gonna be upset.
Blake Corum, that's what the streets are on right now. Blake Corum.
Yeah, Blake. I'm like, man, you don't want Blake Corum. You do not want Blake Corum.
Blake Corum. Blake Corum.
That's
that tells me a very key thing about the people who are shooting for these mock drafts. They only watch Ohio State play. Because you would only think Blake Corum should be drafted that high if you only see them against Ohio State. Like,
not even drafting them high, but they want the Browns to draft them. And I'm just like, eh.
I mean, like in the 6th round, I'm not opposed. You don't even think he could be a 6th round pick?
Nah, the dude from Notre Dame, I forget how to say his last name, but him, yeah, that's what they need to draft. That's what they need to draft.
I personally like a dude, Dylan Laub from New Hampshire. I think he was
at the Senior Bowl, right?
Yeah.
It's actually funny you say
catching that thing.
Yeah, running them routes.
Because Ray Rags has a super chat that says, Q, what did you like and dislike about the Senior Bowl? And what would you do differently about how you watched Scouted if you were to go back?
Wow, I'm getting interviewed here. But what did I like? I like that the Senior Bowl has a lot of football in it. Like, it's just 3 days of a lot of football at the practice. Even at some of the pro practices I've been at, you don't see that much football being played. So you get a real good look at these guys. You get to get up close and personal. What would I do differently? I would utilize the tools that you have to watch the film more on this, especially like for one-on-ones. I think watching the one-on-ones live is a waste of time. You get a better look on it on the all 22. But yeah, just that networking, taking advantage of some opportunities, stuff like that is always what I like to build on.
I was about to ask you too. Like, did anybody stand out in the one-on-ones?
Wide receivers?
Like, I'm just no, because the wide receiver corner one-on-ones don't
Oh,
tell
no,
you a
no,
whole
no.
lot.
You talking about offensive D-line?
I'm talking, yeah, I'm talking
Roger
about trenches. I'm talking
Rosengarten.
about
Yes,
trenches,
Roger
yeah.
Rosengarten. Motherfucker was killing him. Okay, like everybody they threw. I didn't know that some of these dudes, like look, Laffy Latu, apparently he's a top 15 pick. Could do shit against Rogers push away.
Hey, Latu, every one-on-one I saw with Latu, he was cooking whoever he was.
Mm-hmm. Speed around the edge. I'm like, damn, he's pretty good when he ain't going up against Roger.
Bro, he had counters for his counters.
Yeah, he had a triple move, all that stuff. Me and Kyrie talked about it. He was pretty good. Roger was the one that stood out on the one-on-ones. You're asking me who stood out at one-on-ones? Roger. I think Taylor Guyton from Oklahoma was fine there too. But Roger, every time I got excited when I saw that Washington helmet up, I was like, oh, we about to see a real rep. We about to see if this guy's got it. Because Raj was kicking ass at the senior, but all 3 days and in the game. All drills too. He wasn't just good at what it was. He was good at 11 on 11s, just making dudes run the arc, not get beat inside, quick hands, quick feet inside. He's kind of built like Joe Thomas, and he's kind of athletic like Joe Thomas was. He's not the technician that Joe Thomas was at all. But of course, we're talking about somebody who could go 55, 60, not top 3 in the draft. Like Joe was one of the best offensive tackle prospects of all time. Mm-hmm. I think people forget that. Like people talk about Joe Thomas as if like he wasn't that, but like he was one of the best offensive tackle prospects of all time. And you can see some things where I'm like, okay, there's some traits here that are similar to where if Joe were to mentor him, he could be very successful with this guy because I could see some similar things. He just needs to be refined a little bit. But he's a really, really good athlete, at least at that tackle position.
We got another super chat from Ray Rags as well. I believe this is when we were talking about Marvin Lewis and Arizona State. But he says, it's not that they just lost Jaden Daniels. It was the players talking a lot of shit right after he left.
I do remember that. I do remember them talking shit after he left.
Mm-hmm. It was like going through his locker.
Which is like weird. Because it's like it's one thing, especially in the era now where players leave all the time and they go different places all the time. That's a little weird.
I will say this. It is weird. But Colb, have you ever been around a college football locker room?
No.
Okay, I have. It's always weird. Like there's always some weird energy or like weird anger and some like these are a lot of like it's a lot of dumb young kids who are also easily manipulated by their coaches. And it don't take much to get them boys to be hot about something. It really don't. It don't take much. And I bet some strength coach went in there, called him a pussy, and it just like that's what they was on that day. I don't even think they really meant it. Like it's just part of like, okay, they just stupid. Like they just being stupid. Like to be honest with you. And I think it's also Arizona State, dog. They needed some clout, right? Like what they about to do? Play football? Yeah, people notice them? Like it's Arizona State. That's not about to happen. Like come on. When's the last time you went out your way to watch Arizona State? Last time, I bet I know the last time Cole watched an Arizona State football game when Colorado played them. Yeah, tell me. Tell me that ain't the truth.
Will not confirm or deny.
Okay, yeah. So it's true. Okay. It's true. It's the last time I watched them. And honestly, I barely watched them because I had stuff to do. And I was like, yeah, I'm not about to stop and watch those. I like what Pride doing, but I'm not about to watch Arizona State. Like, but I bet a lot of y'all didn't know Jaden Daniels existed until he went to LSU.
No shame in that. There's no shame in there. No shame in that.
That was quick. That was a quick response, Cole.
No shame in that. No shame in that.
Were you unaware of Jaden Daniels until he made the move?
I will also not confirm or deny that.
That's nuts.
No shame in that. Oh man.
Oh man. Okay. I feel like we.
I know it's my job to do the opposite of this, but I did just see a crazy comment that I just wanted to share because it was so crazy. It's not even a super chat, but Face Disabler said, and I've been Googling this to confirm it's true, that M used real insults to Anthony Mackie in the final battle in 8 Mile to get a genuine reaction out of him. True story. And I Googled it, and I guess that's true. The stuff he was saying to him about like the private school and all that was just true. And he was saying that
because Eminem was like, "Hey, dog, I can't sit here and act like I'm supposed to be afraid." Like, that's Anthony Mackie.
Oh, man.
I just wanted to share that because that was wild to me. There's an interesting article about it.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, so he really went to private school. Dang, I know he felt crazy.
Anthony
like, hey,
Mackie went to Juilliard. Like,
yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Why do people keep casting him as a thug? I don't understand this. Did you hear this story? I think I heard somewhere that Anthony Mackie was in the running for Hustle and Flow, and I was like, that would have been the biggest mistake of all time.
Hey, terrible. Cat Ricky Smiley playing Money Mike instead of Cat Williams level mistake. Oh man!
I don't know how anybody else was considered for that role. I thought the whole time that role was created for Cat Williams. Like,
you can't even imagine somebody else playing the role. Like I can't even imagine anybody else being Money Mike.
It'd be like, yeah, we almost cast Terrence J as a pimp named Slipback on the Boot Knocks. I'm like, no, you didn't. That's not true. Like, I seen the character. He looked just like Cat Williams. That's who you wanted. Like, stop.
But sorry to get us off topic. That was just kind of blowing my mind. That one fun fact.
Hey man,
Anthony Mackie, Network All-Star.
Literally.
I can't hate on it because I can't do it as well as him. But
Black Captain America.
And look, he's good in the Marvel movies. I think he's good in Marvel movies. You know, I think that works in Marvel movies. And if he's playing a soldier or a hero, he does them little quips and all that. That's where Anthony Mackie is at his best. You know, that's the offense that fits Anthony Mackie. But y'all need to stop putting that motherfucker in the spread, having to run the RPO. That's not him. That's not him at all. Okay? That's all I'm saying. We're Anthony Mackie. He is.
He can't run a spread, Q.
Y'all need to stop calling direct runs. Like, he not doing nothing you seen Lamar Jackson do. You know, like they not the same. They not the same.
He got to be under center all the time.
3-step drop, 3-5 step, 7-step. You know, turn around, hand it off. You know. That's what he do well, you know, and I think he's great at that. I think Anthony Mackie does a great job in the Marvel movies. I thought that the Falcon Winter Soldier was pretty good. You know, I ain't hate it. You know, I don't know what you thought about it. What did you think about it? Why not? What did you think about Falcon?
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I watched like the first 2 episodes. And I was like, nah, I'm good. I don't listen. The Marvel stuff, it hasn't been the greatest lately.
It's not for you. It's not. See, I liked it. I enjoyed it. You know, I'm just.
Echo was good.
I just grow so tired of having to see Anthony Mackie put a do-rag on inside out, and it just kills me every time. I'm like, he don't even know it's not on right. He be having his inseam down on the hair. Every time you go search a movie where you see them with the do-rag on. The do-rag ain't on ever, right? And I'm like, see, man, just why y'all asking him to be that? Why y'all asking him to be that? He ain't that. He Anthony Mackie. He make y'all laugh. You know, we ain't got to do this. Again, another episode of miscasting. Like, basically, you cast Anthony Mackie as shit you can't get Will Smith for. Does that make sense?
I understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah, because like we all saw Will Smith in Emancipation. Didn't feel right. Not what we want to see him in.
Hey, you know why he had to do that. You know why he had
did that before he did the slap. That wasn't even like he did that before, right? Like that was filmed before the slap happened, right? It came out after, but the filming and the choice to do the movie came out before. Because that came out like 6 months after he slapped Chris Rock. Like movies don't happen that quick. No, he made that choice. He was like, I'm gonna be a serious Academy Award winning actor. And the first thing he was about to do, I'm gonna be a slave. Don't nobody want to see Will Smith play no slave.
Man, he got too much time in the game to be a slave. Like, nah, bro, what you doing?
What?
What time in the game?
What?
That's what you got to do to break into the game. Come on, man, what we doing?
Wow. Hey, Greg, what was you about to say?
Am I lying?
We got a Ray Rag super chat about the Eminem situation. I'll do. There's two from Ray Rags. I'll read the sports one first, and then I'll do the Eminem one. Ray Rag says also Arizona State hasn't been relevant since they blew their chance at a national title game against Ohio State in '97. But then
that happened?
What's that?
That happened? I didn't know that I was 2.
I was 1, so I don't know. But
Hope was 10.
Hey, chill out.
He says, Ray Rags also then says, if I remember correctly, Eminem was told not to respond until they were filming to save his voice, but they were really going at him and the crowd was real people. So he got mad and started going at everyone.
Anthony Mackey got the nerve to talk shit.
Listen, that's a good It made it feel authentic, so I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
You know what else is one of my favorite movie stories? Have you ever heard about LL Cool J and Jamie Foxx on the set of
They had beef, didn't they have like real beef?
Yeah, Jamie didn't like him. He was like, I'm the quarterback. All this. And LL was like, this motherfucker actually acted like he the quarterback. So he come at me. Pow, pow. And then all you hear was somebody say, Jamie was out. He was out. Okay. Hey, LL from the Bronx. Or is he from the Bronx or Brooklyn?
I think he's from the Bronx.
Hey, you don't want it with LL Cool J. Okay. But they better never have Anthony Mackey play no damn LL Cool J. Like,
bro, he wouldn't even get considered to play LL Cool J. You dragging it.
all right. Top 3 roles you don't ever want to see Anthony Mackey play.
Top 3 roles, man.
QnColb talking.
No civil rights leaders.
No, absolutely not. No. Too bad. Oh, I got number 1 on my list. Malcolm X. Absolutely never.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I'm Malcolm X.
Hey, the things I would have to say about that would get me banned on every social media.
You know who I always felt like I don't know if you've ever read the Malcolm X autobiography. I'm like, man, it never happened at the right time. But if you could get a young Terrence Howard to play a young Malcolm X, that would have been a movie right there.
Hey man, we got the perfect Malcolm X though.
Yeah, Denzel did a good job in there. Denzel did it.
We're good.
Yep. Yeah, Denzel did his thing. But I'm telling you, Terrence Howard would have caught that essence of a young red. Okay? He would have got that essence down pat. You'd have been like, he could do anything. Right?
Oh man.
Because that's the whole thing about Malcolm X. There was a time where nobody thought he was deemed for greatness. Like when you watch Denzel play him, you're like, man, he's gonna be great one day. I could just see it. He has so much potential. Nah, that's not how people felt about Malcolm back in the day. That's not even how Malcolm felt about Malcolm. Okay, like and Terrence Howard would be like, yeah, I can see I can see the climb. Like, but Anthony Mackey, absolutely no Malcolm X for you. No civil rights leaders. Maybe a Thurgood Marshall, right? Like maybe one of those. What? Not even Thurgood. We're not gonna give a Thurgood. We can't give a third good white.
When I said no civil rights leaders, I meant no civil rights leaders.
We got a super chat, I think, about this exact thing from Rex Fortune, and he says, Will Smith and Anthony Mackie starring as Fred Hampton and Huey.
Oh,
P.
no.
Stop it. You said this during Black History Month? Come on.
No.
Come on.
Flag on the play. Flag on the play. No.
15 yards.
No more. Stop it.
The players.
This is just wrong. Honestly, it's disrespectful. What?
Oh, that movie is getting review bombed to hell.
I'm a boycott it. Ain't no way. Come on, Q. Give the movie a chance. No. The second I see Anthony Mackie with the afro on and a beret, hey, no, what? You lost your mind? Like, Anthony Mackie can't even play prominent black figures he can't even play like Ludacris. Like, nah, I wouldn't believe it.
Prominent black figures, another one. No.
Okay.
We saw the Tupac thing. We're good.
I cannot believe. I want to ask questions about how that happened. Like, how did Anthony Mackie get the role as Tupac? What? He don't look like Tupac. He don't act like Tupac.
The guy that got to play Biggie was like a really good choice too. I was like,
Jamal Woodard?
Yeah, I was like, that's a really good choice. But man,
by the way, it's a shame what happened in that young man's career. Every time I see him, he on a Tubi exclusive, and it ain't produced by Tubi. It just is only on Tubi. Like, you want to see some trash? Search his name on Tubi. You will find some of the most "what is this" movies you ever seen in your life.
We can't
I promise you that.
We can't.
We just got a couple more super chats here. We got one from Ray Rags that's football related, and then one from Face Disabler, which is media related, since this is a movie podcast now. But I'll do the Ray Rags one first. Ray Rags 14 says, I think this is when Q, you were asking if Arizona State blew their chance against whatever for
Ohio State 97.
Yeah. Ray Rags says Arizona State led 17-14 with 1 minute and 47 seconds left in the fourth, and let Ohio State march down the field and score. Had Arizona State won, they would have been the only 12-0 team left in the country.
You know how sorry you had to be to lose to Ohio State in that era in a bowl game? Wasn't that Snoop Cooper?
I can check.
That was Snoop Coop 1. We got Snoop Coop 2 right now.
Poor Arizona State.
Look, but 90% of my childhood, Greg, is my dad complaining about Snoop Cooper.
Yeah, that was him. Yeah.
Yes. This is how I know. 90% of my childhood is my dad complaining about two things. Snoop Cooper, the 95 Buckeyes, and how the fuck did the 95 Cleveland Guardians not win the World Series? They had Manny Ramirez batting ninth, Quincy. Jim Tomey, by the way, you know what side of the city you are. Just ask about Jim Tomey. You will find out what side of the city of Cleveland you are on. Some side of the city, he's a beloved hero who deserves his respect. Other people feel like he's an overrated traitor. Yeah. Ask about CC Sabathia and Jim Toby. You'll find out where you at in Cleveland. That's your North Star in Cleveland.
What's the other super chat, man?
The other one was from Face Disabler, and he says Anthony Mackie in the Hugh Jackson story.
We gonna do Hugh like that?
You know what? Actually, I think that's perfect for Hugh.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
All
right. We need to flip it. Instead of talking about things that Anthony Mackie can't do, right? You know, this is a man who's accomplished career. Who can and let's not get messy. Who can Anthony Mackie play?
You said let's not get messy, so I'm not gonna say what popped in my head.
Oh, send it to me in the private chat because
Hold on, I'm gonna send it in the chat. I'm gonna send it in the chat and just react.
It's nasty.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. I can see it. Let's see. Anthony Mackey could definitely play. See, he's too old to play him, but maybe like if Anthony Mackey were born 20 years later, Donald Glover.
Nah.
You don't think he could do Donald Glover?
Nah. I don't see it.
You don't see it?
I don't see it.
He could play Will Smith.
No, they would just get Jaden to play Will probably.
Yeah, it's true. But you know what's weird? You don't really get Will Smith vibes from Jaden.
You don't get Will Smith vibes from Jaden at all.
Yeah, you get more Will Smith vibes from Anthony Mackey than Jaden Smith. Jaden's kind of like chilled out, you know, just kind of a weird art kid. That's not Will Smith at all. Will Smith on that.
Jaden Smith definitely gives you weird theater kid vibes.
Yeah, like, you know, like he's in the back of the room, you know, like he's listening to a lot of Kid Cudi. Like he skipped school, but he always at school. You know what I mean? Like it's like a specific type of kid. That's definitely Jaden Smith. That's not Will Smith at all. Will Smith be at his lunch periods. Like, but let's see. So I don't know if Jaden Smith could play his dad. Honestly, do you think that Ice Cube's son did a good job being Ice Cube in Straight Outta Compton?
Yeah, I think O'Shea did a good job.
I feel like people gave him credit because he looked like his dad.
He does look exactly like
He looks exactly like his dad. At no point did I feel like I was watching Ice Cube though. Like he don't got the. You're supposed to be afraid of Ice Cube in that era. I was never afraid of O'Shea Jackson playing his dad. Like I was like, nah, he didn't. Even when he was out here smashing shit with the bat, I'm like, this ain't convincing me at all. I don't think you do this. Like,
is this my opportunity to say that Ray is the greatest music biopic ever?
I've never seen Ray.
You've never seen Ray?
I've always wanted to see Ray. I've never seen it.
Ray's like one of my
favorite. You seen Ray, Greg?
I have not, but it's on the list. It's on the watch list.
No, I really, honestly, truly believe Jamie Foxx was Ray Charles when I watched that movie.
I remember thinking it in the trailers, like, man, he looked just like Ray. Like, that's what Ray looked like to me. Every time I see a real picture of Ray Charles, I'm like, that don't look like. It's kind of like what happened with a lot of people with Malcolm X. They just thought he looked like Denzel. Like, Denzel played the role so well. They was like, yeah, he looked just like Denzel. And then you see Malcolm X in color, you like, nah, Denzel's a little bit darker.
If you see a picture of young Ray Charles and you see like Jamie playing him, they look exactly alike.
That's true.
We got a super chat here from Mike Walk 32, and he says Anthony Mackey could play Doc Rivers.
Ooh. Hey man, we gotta get that shit to Mark from RDC World. That's the only person who could play Mark. That's the only person who could play Doc Rivers. That man plays him so well.
He has to be Doc.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm fired. Let's look at 10 times All-Star. James Harden. Was you balling? You was not hooping.
And there's another Anthony Mackey related super chat here, which is Anthony Mackey needs a Jackie Chan. Which I'm assuming is a Rush Hour reference.
Don't do that, Chris Tucker. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
And you know what? Just don't do that again, man. We don't need another Rush Hour.
No, we got 3 classics. We good.
Yo, we good, man. They was right for us when we was growing up. Hey man, the new generation don't need no damn Rush Hour, man.
Yeah, you can't make those movies now. You can't make those movies now.
They not gonna enjoy it. Like it ain't gonna make nobody happy. We not gonna like it. We not gonna like it. No.
They will get think pieced to death if they make another Rush Hour.
And you know what? They deserve it. Because why would you want to make another Rush Hour movie? Like, they tried to make a Rush Hour TV show.
Nah.
You remember that?
I do remember.
They made a Lethal Weapon TV show with Damon Wayans in it.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I know this just happened with the Mean Girls movie where I didn't see it, but I heard a lot of people complaining about how like they took a lot of the really like mean jokes out of it because it was like just it didn't fit for the current era. But then people were saying like, well, the whole point of the movie is it's supposed to be about these like mean high school girls. So,
See,
like,
look, people don't when we rewrite these movies. Here's what happens: people take out all the stuff they know won't age well, but they don't replace it with jokes that would work today because they don't understand how these jokes work today, right? So with Mean Girls, it's like you could write some mean shit. Like kids still say mean shit, but you got to know where to hit them at. They don't know how to hit them, so they just take it out and they just be lazy. It's laziness, right? Whenever you see people like we can't, like the reason we can't do Rush Hour today is because these motherfuckers are lazy. Right? They will try to do the same jokes they did in 2005. You cannot do that, right? But could you make some funny jokes about the dynamic of a Jackie Chan type and a Chris Tucker type? Absolutely. But you got to think about it a little bit. And people ain't trying to like think about it enough to make it work right. And I think that's what we run into is people just trying to be as lazy as possible, push some content out and be like, hey, it's a new Rush Hour movie. And if they make it a Rush Hour 4, let's be real, it's only to make some money. Like, right? That sounds like a cash grab to me. It's not because they like got something to say. By the way, as a kid who grew up half black and half Asian in an all-black school, the worst thing to happen to me, Harold and Kumar, Tokyo Drift, and Rush Hour. Okay.
Hey, I love how every pod goes back to your trauma somehow.
Yeah, dog. Had to defend myself. Okay. Yeah, I'm not about to hit me with these Rush Hour jokes. One of my best friends in high school was a dude. He was this dude. We called him TJ. He was Indian. Harold and Kumar came out. We had to stop hanging out. No, dog.
I knew they was cooking y'all. I know they was cooking y'all, man.
I had to get him back. I had to get him back. Yeah. Look, lunch. I cut my short tongue at these lunch tables. It's part of why I can do what I do. Right? Like, you ever heard me come back with the comeback quick? Look, I've been fighting this fight my whole life. Like, Harold and Kumar, I was like, oh man, dog, this ain't good.
You was on the road. You was on the ropes.
I was watching the movie, enjoying it, and I was like, boy, I hope the streets don't like this one. Oh man. This gonna give us some fuel.
Well, we did just get before Q has too much PTSD, a couple sports related super chats. If we want to do those, then we could probably wrap this up here.
Let's get it.
Face Disabler says Omar Vizquel, the GOAT on that 95 Guardian roster.
Oh yeah, my dad agrees. Yeah, Jim Tomey's overrated. Omar Vizquel was right. Look, all I heard about the year I was born, by the way, I was born in 95. I don't ever hear stories about when I was born, about how it was and all this stuff and how he changed as a man. I ain't never hear them stories growing up. But I did hear about how the 95 Buckeyes almost ruined his life. They had Eddie George. Yeah, I know. Everybody who was on the 95 Buckeyes and the 95 Guardians. Yes, I know. I heard these stories literally my entire life. My dad remembers the year 1995 as three things: the year Ohio State blew it, the year the Indians blew it, and the year he got his second kid. In that order.
Yeah, my dad was kind of the same way. If I ever complained about Jim Trussell ever, he would always just say like, "You don't get it. Like you don't know what you like." What
you want to go back to Snoop Cooper?
Yeah.
Oh, my dad, look, I used to make all these Michigan jokes, and he would get mad at me. Like, up to like a couple years ago, before Ohio State started actually losing to Michigan, I'd be like, man, you ain't never losing to Michigan. Why y'all be worried about Michigan? They some bums out there. He'd be like, don't you forget about Michigan. They come back any time, and it'd be just like Snoop Cooper. Don't you play around. Like, he was dead serious. Like,
He was right. He was right.
Hey, the man knew something. Look, black dad knowledge. The man knew something. I was being young and foolish, right? Making fun of Michigan, thinking that was done. There's no way Michigan comes back. You're like, they find a way. They will find a way. We must stay vigilant. Like,
well, while we're talking about John Cooper, we got a Ray Rag super chat. It says, John Cooper showed up to recruit Nick Cochran, who was from my high school in the 90s, at an awards dinner in a 10-gallon cowboy hat to a city that's less than 5 minutes away from Youngstown. My dad said they made fun of him immediately.
hey,
Yeah, you can't do that. Can't do that.
look, they made fun of him, but you know who they wasn't making fun of? That 5'7" man in that sweater vest. Okay, walking around in those same streets. I'm telling you, man. I don't know if you've ever been near Jim Tressel. Like, Greg, have you ever been in the presence of Jim Tressel?
No, I haven't.
I have had considerable time in the presence of Jim Tressel. Hey, man, you know, some people got that aura about them you just got to respect. Jim Tressel was riding around in the golf cart, and he had this whole thing at Youngstown State where he didn't want you to wear any other college hoodie other than the university that you go to. So he would stop that cart and go, young man, what kind of hoodie do you have on? He'd be like, oh, it's my Ohio State hoodie. Not here. Not here. You have an undershirt? Yeah. Take the hoodie off. And I took the hoodie off. I was 21. I was 21. I was like, yes, sir.
And you fold it? You fold it? You fold it?
I'm supposed to tell, what I'm supposed to do? Tell Jim Tressel no?
Yes.
I done seen this man make my daddy cry in 2002. I'm supposed to make, no, you tripping, Jim. See, look, you will understand it too. If Jim Tressel was at Ohio University, you was wearing some Ohio State, he'd be like, nah, take that shit off, dog. You would have took it off. I'm telling you, he got that aura about him. He has made much bigger and stronger people do it. This is the man who had a handle on Maurice Claret, right? Like, look at the Ohio State rosters. There was some edge cases, okay? Like, and Jim Tressel got him right. They was only right with Jim. I'm just saying. That man got an aura about him. He do. He got one of them like, yeah, no, you ain't going. You know them auras. Like, you have them adults in your life. You're like, you're not going to disrespect Mr. Jones or whatever it's going to be. Yeah, Jim Tressel got that about him. I don't know what it is, but I've seen grown men, senators, be like, oh, yeah, my bad, Mr. Tressel. Like, no, dog. I've seen the power of Jim Tressel. That man has something about him. Like, he got that old professor energy. Like, you just be like, nah, let me, you know, this is going to be the funniest comp of all time. He's kind of like Furious Styles and Boys in the Hood. Like, you kind of feel the same way they felt about Furious, where it's like, okay, he gonna teach us something though. We gotta listen. You have that same level of respect. It's the same thing. Greg, you ever seen Boys in the Hood? I feel like it's a universal movie.
I actually have. It's one of my dad's favorite movies.
Shut up.
Okay. Shut up, Greg. That.
Yeah, he really likes it. I don't know how that happened, but
hey, man.
He's just like, hey.
Hey, look, they just stories. Sometimes we relate, you know?
It's great. It's like my dad.
It's basically Stand By Me.
I don't know about.
yeah,
it's basically the same thing as Stand By Me. It's essentially the same thing, right? Just a little bit different.
We got one more super
hold on.
chat here.
Have you ever seen Menace to Society?
No, I haven't seen Menace to Society, but it is on the watch list.
Oh, hey, take it off.
Why you gotta take it off? Why you gotta take it off?
Hey, man, I watched Menace to Society. I was terrified to go outside for the next 2 days.
Right. Watch that movie, right?
I remember watching Menace to Society being like, oh my God. Oh, dog. Is this real?
What's the next super chat, man?
This is probably a nice one to end the show on, but it's from Connor, and he says, quite literally, this podcast has saved me from guttural darkness multiple times. I appreciate it.
Damn.
Well, we appreciate
you, Connor. That made me
we
feel
hope you
good,
being a little
man.
hyperbolic, that it's not that dark for you, you know, but if we could give you some hours of entertainment, that's what we here for. And you know what, Colb, that bought you another week on this show. You know, you got your 10-day extended. You know what I mean? Like, I guess you're making people's life better.
Why you keep doing this, dog?
Hey, wait a minute. I just thought of one. Can Anthony Mackey play Johnny Cochran?
No. The dude who played Johnny Cochran in the
in the OJ?
On the FX one,
he was Johnny Cochran.
He needs to play Johnny Cochran. If they doing anything with Johnny Cochran, he needs to be Johnny Cochran.
It's like they did with Biggie, where it's like, nah, just get Jamal. Jamal in like 3 different projects is Biggie. Like what, he in the USA show, both the Tupac movies, and he is Straight Outta Compton as Biggie?
I don't remember if he was in Straight Outta Compton.
I think he's in Straight Outta Compton, because we were like, are they starting a rapper verse? I mean, you mean biopics? like, what you mean extended universe? Tupac actually existed.
Man. Look what Marvel's done to us.
I know, right? Marvel. Also, did you see that tweet about the guy who was reacting to Ted? Greg, did you see this?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, I got to start putting these in the group text so we can pop them up on screen whenever I have one of these random things. But this guy was like, hey, man, Ted was so great, because they released Ted as a limited series on Peacock. And it's pretty good, or at least I liked it. And he was like, man, and you know what's great? We can get Ted season 2, Ted the college years, Ted the post-movie adult year. He was playing out a whole cinematic universe for this show. I'm like, can we just get 1 season? Like, you know, I don't need to see 8 seasons of a talking fucking bear. Like, we need to come up with a limit of how many seasons a television show really needs. I don't think you ever need more than 7.
7's a high number.
Like 7's the max. Like, I'll give you a high max, like 7. But like nothing after 7 seasons gets better. Like,
so you're not a fan of Family Guy.
After season 7? like you get 7 seasons before you get tired of a cartoon. People are like, oh, it sucks now. It's like, nah, you just watched your 7 seasons before you got tired of it. Like, I'm pretty sure.
That reminds me of Archer.
Yeah.
Loved Archer. Great show.
How many seasons did you get?
Man, it's like 9 seasons, and after a while, it was just like,
too much. 7 seasons. You never need more than 7 seasons. 7 seasons of a TV show. Anything more, and you start to feel it, right? Oh, One Piece, 25 seasons or some shit like that.
Anime seasons are a little different though. Those are traditional. TV
You know what? Yeah, I'll just give you. Yeah, you're right.
Let's not do it. Let's not do it.
Correct. You're correct, Cole. I agree.
Let's not do it.
I agree. Yeah, anime seasons are different.
I'm just saying.
I have no knowledge to debate you with this, because I have never watched anime. So I just have to take your word on this. Yes, you are right. But for other shows, I'm just saying, name me the show that went past 7 seasons and you felt like, yeah, man, it needed that. Like, it needed the season 8. Name me the one show. People saying South Park. Man, people watch South Park for 7 seasons at a time, right? Like, you watch that shit for like a few years when you was in high school, and then you stop watching. There's very few people out here like, I watched all 20 seasons of South Park. And if you have, good on you, bro. Good on you.
Game of Thrones should have been the one. It should have been. Was
that 7 seasons?
I think it was 8, and that last season was...
Well, I tell you, every time, you gonna get tired of it after 7 years.
Ruined it. They had the formula, and they just destroyed it at the end. Oh,
look, people are mentioning South Park. South Park's a great show, but I promise you, we'd still be fine if South Park only got 7 seasons. Like, It don't need more than 7. I understand that it can last longer than 7 seasons. The Simpsons been on for forever. But it's about 7 seasons worth of episodes you actually care about. Like,
The Simpsons is one of my favorite shows ever, and those new episodes just make me feel empty when I watch them.
So you're a Simpsons. Do you watch them like when they come out? Like, are you like next day Hulu? Or are you?
No, I'm not. No. I don't. If I ever see a new Simpsons episode, it's against my will. It's like I don't choose to do it. It just happens, and it always makes me feel sad.
You get 7 seasons out of a show. You know how much better it would have been if he would have just did 7 seasons of The Simpsons and it gave us some new shit, right? The next 7 would have been some new shit instead of the same Simpsons. Like, it would have been better.
Well, that's the thing, though, is Matt Groening, the guy who made The Simpsons, he left around like season 7, and that's when he made Futurama. But they just kept...
And they keep going with Futurama. And it's like, just stop. Just after 7. We need to put, you know what, man? We need to get Congress to enact a law. 7 seasons, maybe a movie, right? We'll call it what's the man's name? Dan Harmon law. 7 seasons in a movie. That's it. You get 7 seasons in a movie, and then this IP becomes public domain.
How many seasons of Rick and Morty do we have?
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Are they on season 7? Are they on season 7 right now?
I think season 7 just happened, right?
Is it season 6 or 7?
I just Google it. Season 7 is the one that just happened. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They ain't even got the same people playing Rick and Morty no more. Like, just ended at 7, man. Like, it's cool. It's cool. We got all the Martin we needed in 7 seasons. Look, Martin that had a cultural impact that lasted for 30 years.
7 seasons.
They was just at the like the Tonys or some shit like that, or what was it?
BET
Yeah, the Golden Globes. They were at the Golden Globes, like doing a sketch about a reunion. Martin came out in the 90s. All they needed was 7.
Man,
people still talk about Home Improvement, Tim the Toolman Taylor. I'm pretty sure that shit ain't go past 7 seasons. Like, man,
you can't do a Martin reunion without Tommy. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't bring it back. You can't do it without Tommy.
Look. Every Fresh Prince, I promise you, less than 7 seasons.
Yeah,
huge impact. Reruns, you got enough to have reruns on for the next 30 years. 7 seasons, all you need. Why do we keep making more after 7 seasons?
Bro, they brought Frasier back. Bro.
Frasier back.
I'm like, why? It was perfect.
They're running out of shit to do. They don't want to make no new shit. I'm like, people are like, oh yeah, you can't do sitcoms no more. I'm like, you could if you actually gave a fuck about the sitcoms that you was making. Like, they just be making bullshit.
They got the one on Netflix with Mike Epps and Wanda Sykes and Kim Fields. I can't think of the name right now.
Yeah, there's a couple of them on Netflix. I ain't gonna lie. It's a couple of them. And shout out to my cousin. I think one of them is called The Cookout, and I think my cousin works on one of those. So, like, I remember my family being very excited about having a preview for that sitcom, and I was like, ugh, why? Oh!
Oh, why? Nuts, bro.
I want to watch that, bro. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Nah, you're sick. You're sick.
Look. I personally would not want to be in a Tyler Perry vehicle, but I'm going to celebrate somebody who does want to be in a Tyler Perry vehicle if they make it. Like, hey, man, you was in that. I don't know if I'm going to watch it, but you know what? I'm gonna give you that like on Instagram. I'm like, yeah, like. I might even comment, hey. But yeah, they need to make better shit. Again, name me an example. Chat hasn't named me one show that went past 7 seasons that we actually needed to be past 7 seasons.
I did look it up. Martin had 5 seasons. The Fresh Prince had 6.
And let's keep it real.
Did have 8.
Martin had 5 seasons, but really they had 4.
Yeah, that last season.
That last season, Martin and Gina wasn't even on screen together.
Hey, if you think about it, Dave Chappelle show, 2.5 seasons.
Hey man, all we need for Dave Chappelle show is like 10 minutes of sketches. All you need right there. Like, you can put everything you need to know for the Dave Chappelle show in one episode of the Dave Chappelle show. Like,
the Boondocks, really 3 seasons. We won't talk about that 4th one.
Yeah, that 4th one was bad. That 4th one was bad. Was that without Aaron Magruder?
Yeah, that was the one without Aaron Magruder.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. R.I.P. John with the spoon. But again, you don't ever need more than 7 seasons of a show. Stop letting these people fool you into thinking you need more than 7 seasons of a show. You're going to be just fine. You can watch that show for the rest of your life. It is 7 seasons and you'll be fine. You don't need no reunion season. You don't need no remake. You good. You good. You good, man. A Different World, 7 seasons. Bam. All the really 6. Nobody watches the first season of A Different World, right? Like, all you need right there, right? All you need. Reba, 6 seasons. All you need right there, dog. Like, all you need. My Reba agenda will continue as long as I have a career. Okay? I will be pushing the Reba agenda.
On that note, feels like a good time to close the pod.
Somebody mentioned The Office. The Office had 14 seasons. When did Michael Scott leave? Season 8? You're muted.
It was either like 6 or 7, I think.
What I say, man? 7 seasons is all you need.
All right, before we close this,
Parks
can I
and
admit
Rec,
something?
7 seasons.
Can I admit something? Before we close this, can I admit one thing?
What?
I know this is going to be blasphemous for a lot of people.
Oh no, you're not about to say something. Look, hold on, wait. Before you go, are you about to admit you don't like The Office?
I don't like The Office. It has some funny. There's some funny episodes, but overall, I'm just like, eh.
Do you like Parks and Rec?
I don't think I watched Parks and Rec.
Now I know how you feel when I talk about anime. Now I know. You know what, Cole? This was a great exercise of empathy where I'm just like, how does this man not understand the greatness of The Office?
You see what I'm saying?
How do you not enjoy a good mockumentary? Did you watch Modern Family? By the way, only needed 7 seasons of Modern Family.
I did not watch Modern Family, but the clips I've seen of Modern Family are funny. But didn't watch it. But you know what I think is confusing though? I'm not a fan of The Office. Love Abbott Elementary.
I'm not gonna lie, Cole. That feels racist.
Wow.
It's the same humor. What makes you connect with this more? Like,
listen, I'm just saying.
It's a Jim, it's a Pam in that show. Like, it's the same show.
Hey, listen, it don't hit the same. Like,
wow, Cole. Wow. That's the Office is pretty good. Okay, and look, now you got you emboldening people in here who think The Office is trash. Let me tell you something. The Office is not trash. Okay, The Office is very good. It's very funny.
listen,
And Cole, maybe you watched the first season. Not gonna lie, you don't need to watch the first season.
I did try to start watching the first season. I was like, nah, this is not good.
No. Anytime Michael Scott got that slick back with the grease in it, nah, you don't need that. Like, you need to just skip the season 2 and start from there. I promise you, you'll be a fan. Go ahead, get that peacock going. Go ahead, get the peacock on and start watching from season 2. That's where you messed up, right? It's like telling somebody to start Breaking Bad, but like tell them it's going to start with the first season. Like, nah. They need to get to season 2. You don't even need to watch season 1. Just get to season 2. And then you'll understand why the rest of us are in love. Okay. That's it. That's it. Can't believe. You got any more bad takes? You want to get off your chest?
Hey, according to the chat, it's not a bad take.
According to one guy in the chat. 2 guys.
Is everybody else? I was gonna say everybody else saying it's good.
I feel like these are kids who don't understand. Like, I feel like some of these are like people who like grew up, like they was born in 2005 or some shit like that. They don't understand it. Like, it's look, I will say this. The Office is only going to be funny to millennials. like I don't see The Office being like a Gen Z thing. Like they're not gonna understand why like this shit is funny to us, but it's hilarious if you grew up and you were born between the ages of 1995 and 1977. Like, yeah, you'll probably like The Office. But,
I feel like I know what you mean, because I feel like when I was younger, I remember thinking The Office, like its sense of humor was very like kind of weird and out there. But now in the year 2024, it just feels like standard humor. But that's just because everything else has gotten so weird.
The Office built up how so many people in our generation joke. Like literally, it's all that you've seen in The Office. It's like, oh, that's what she said. All that's like The Office. There's a good case to be made that The Office is pretty much like one of the most culturally significant things of our generation. Like it is, but Cole, not watching The Office. That's nuts. That's nuts. Like you are a millennial, a capital M millennial, and you ain't watched The Office.
I told you I tried. I was like,
See, look, Isaac's 28. He's right on the edge. He's right on the edge with me because I'm at the edge. And he's like, it's too cringe. It's a social anxiety simulator. And I could just tell, look, I'm a millennial. I'm a late millennial that fell firmly on the side of being a millennial, just culturally. Isaac is definitely Gen Z because he just started coming out here like, it's too cringe. That's Gen Z right there. Like, you're not gonna get it, bro. Like, you just said it's too cringe. That's the fucking point. It's supposed to be cringy. Like, that's the humor in it.
You feel very strongly about this.
That's the point. That's the point of it. It's supposed to be cringy, humor, man.
Bro. He don't like that kind of humor, bro. He just don't like that kind of humor.
This is why Gen Z is ruining comedy.
All right, Dave Chappelle.
They're ruining it. God damn it. All right, though. We've had our fun. We've had our fill. You've had your fun. You've had your fill. Greg, any hot takes you want to spit out here?
No, I
put
think
them on the
I'll do my hot take, which is I think The Office is just fine. I think it's all right.
So I'm surrounded by a bunch of traitors. Like
I like it. I like it. I think it's like a 7 out of 10 show.
7 out of 10.
It's
7
good.
out of 10.
It's good.
You gonna try to find a new producer? You gonna try to find a new producer now too?
I'm not gonna fire him. I'm not gonna fire him. No. If you would like to be a producer, make sure you email.
Yeah, I'm getting everyone on the fence sitter, you know?
Yeah. I will say this though. There's a good chunk of people who 2 people shaped everything they know about comedy. And this is why millennials and Gen Z don't get along. Because millennials will laugh their ass off at some Will Ferrell movies of that era and at Steve Carell doing anything in that era. 40-year-old version, anything. You show that shit to a Gen Z, they look at you like you nuts. Okay. You ever show Step Brothers to somebody way younger than you? Like,
Step Brothers is an
you ever show Talladega Nights to somebody? They like, what are you laughing at? Like, this is just pain. Like, that's the point.
If you're not first, you last. Ricky Bobby, come on. Man.
If you're not going to laugh at him stabbing himself in the leg, like, don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby? That's not funny to you.
That's a great scene. That's one of the best scenes ever.
Look, we forget how great Will Ferrell was. He had that run. Like,
hey, Will Ferrell had an all-time comedy run, bro.
Hey,
all-time
2002 to 2010, my man was hitting. Okay, even when he didn't hit semi-pro, it was still a hit.
Like, semi-pro, classic.
Mm-hmm.
Semi-pro's a classic.
Look, and I don't know if you went to Will Ferrell movies in person, but I used to. All of America in that Will Ferrell movie. My man had the country together. Okay. We was all in there singing sexy love me sexy.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't look. The Office and Will Ferrell movies, that's where we will never get agree with our younger counterparts. You know, they will think like, are they the people that think Pete Davidson's funny?
Yes.
Ooh,
Okay,
they are
yeah.
speed
Yeah,
dubs.
they are. Okay. We just don't have the same sense of humor. Like, we're never going to agree on comedy. Because I don't
wonder,
think it.
do they think Shane Gillis is funny?
Oh, they
I
love
wonder.
Shane Gillis. The dude with the mustache I see on TikToks all the time.
Yeah. Do they think Shane Gillis is funny?
Oh, they love him.
Okay.
Yeah, they love him. Do you not think he's funny?
No, I do.
I think he's
Shane
all
Gillis
right. I was like, I think he's all right. Yeah. He has that really funny bit about Down syndrome. That's as far as I'll go on that. Like,
I think he's pretty funny.
He's pretty funny. Yeah.
That I do. I have a cousin with Down syndrome, and that bit I found very relatable. What they was talking about.
I recently watched his like most recent stand-up special, and I know the bit you're talking about, and I was like, this might be the best bit about
No, it's really
Down
good.
syndrome.
It's really
I
good.
was like,
it's one of those things where like people are like, I can't talk about stuff anymore. Like, no, you can, but you got to know what you're talking about. It came from like actual knowledge, and like it felt like he actually cares. Like it wasn't like kicking down or nothing like that. But yeah, look, you ever what? Oh, I got to add another one to this list. Kevin Hart had a hell of a run, man. The first 3 stand-up specials of Kevin Hart, woo! Special, I tell you.
Hey, we gotta stop acting like Kev was never funny.
That's what I mean. That's the one thing I was like, Cat, you tripping on that? Because he was acting like Cat was like, yeah, he an industry clown. Like, hey, no, fuck that. No, the first 3 stand-up specials were like, we quoted those stand-up specials until we graduated college. Okay.
Hey, in high school, we knew every single joke, every single word, especially the first 2. Everybody knew every joke, every word.
Wait a minute,
bro.
Wait a minute. Hey, baby, come here. We all done that voice. Kevin Hart did it. Okay.
Yeah, Kev was funny. Kev was funny.
Look, Kev.
He not as funny
he
now.
had LeBron. Nah, because he makes $1 billion. Like, you can't be funny when you make that much money. You're not relatable no more. But when he had LeBron and Shaq, when he was doing the Shaq fall bit, that was the funniest man of all time.
The one he did in Cleveland was the best. The best, dog.
Yes. Look. Seriously funny. Laugh at my pain. It is what. Let me explain.
No, I'm a grown little man. I'm a grown little man.
Look. If you wasn't around in 2010 in high school, you do not understand. Greg, did it happen in your school? Because I know it happened with me and Cole, where that stand-up special somehow went viral amongst teenagers.
Yeah, I remember there was a point in my life where I couldn't go a day in school without just somebody randomly like yelling for no reason. He said she ain't got no nipples.
She ain't got no nipples. Long nipple, no titty. Long nipple, no titty having.
Ooh, man. Hey, shout out to everybody who stays to the end of the pod, because this is what you're paying for.
This is what this is our tip section. Right? But yes. Greg, you're muted.
Greg, you're still muted.
Hold on, I got you.
That's me. I was gonna say, just based on what you said, Q, about the tips, we are sitting on 3 super chats right now. If we want
all right, yeah, let's get these 3 super chats out, because I still got to put a video up on Main, and it was supposed to come out at 6.
Yeah, all right, these are last 3 super chats right here. RayRags14 said, "You are right, Q. Nick Cochran and his brother Mike were big-time players during that great YSU teams, and my dad still talks about how great those YSU teams in the 90s were because of Jim Tressel. They beat Steve McNair."
Hey, Jim Tressel was, look, they
Tressel
say
was
that
dude.
day. I don't know how they act. I know how they act in Northeast Ohio about Jim Tressel. I don't know what Columbus be on with Jim, but you say Jim Tressel in Cleveland, or you say Jim Tressel in Youngstown, you say that shit with some reverence. All right, it's Jim Tressel. I don't know who these Ohio State fans are that be disrespecting Jim Tressel. They either got to be young or don't understand. Because look, man, Jim got that program back on track in record time. He got them back. You have everything you want now as Ohio State fans because of Jim Tressel. And Ryan Day is ruining it, by the way. He is actively destroying it.
We got one from Isaac Ardent. Archer slaps. You should check it out, Q. Love the content.
I'm not opposed to watching Archer. That's not anime. It's just animated.
Listen, the first like 4 seasons
Archer
of
got the dude
Archer.
from Bob's Burgers in it, right?
Yes, he was Archer before he was Bob. Just throwing it out there. He was Archer before he was Bob. The first like 4 seasons of Archer, all time stuff.
See,
Literally,
Cole hyped it up too much. Nah, I can't watch it.
I'm telling you, bro. All time stuff.
All time stuff. For the man who watches Momo's Great Adventure.
It's
JoJo's
I don't
Bizarre
know. Adventure. Also all time stuff.
See, look, I can't trust your all time stuff no more. Like,
You don't watch anime? How would you know?
I just know. That can't be all time. Like, there's no
Ask
way.
the chat. Ask the chat.
The chat don't know what they talk about. They prove this every week. About these things.
I believe you, chat. I believe you.
Chat just agrees with you. That don't mean they right.
It does according to my story.
Nope. Let's get the last super chat in.
Professor Chaos says,
No.
Yeah,
no. We're not about to do Cory like that. No.
What they say about Cory?
Read Professor Chaos's super chat. Not allowed. Put to yourself. Cove.
Well, I'm trying to. I don't.
It should be on your screen. You on StreamYard, right?
Yeah, I am, but I don't see it.
It's one of the. You'll find it. It's the second to last super chat.
Hold on. Okay,
Nick
I'm
Arden.
on the comments. I'm on the comments. Hold on.
Nick Arden did just say in a super chat, nah, it's all time. I don't watch anime. I think referring to Archer.
Okay, I can take that suggestion now. I can take that suggestion.
Hey, that's crazy.
You know what? Archer. I'm about to add it to the list. You know, Archer. What is it on streaming?
What
streaming platforms? Is this on Hulu?
It's on Hulu. I'm reading the second to last super chat.
Yeah, you just saw it. Yeah, nah, we can't.
No, we can't put that one on there.
Nope.
But it's hilarious. We can't.
Nope.
Ooh, that was funny.
It's on Hulu, by the way. Archer.
On Hulu? Yeah, I got Hulu with no ads. Yeah, look, we can't do nothing. We can't do nothing with y'all, man. Anytime I come here, I want to have a nice professional show. And it turns into this. And I blame y'all. Okay? Yeah, y'all the same people got Stephen A. Smith saying anything on his YouTube. It's the platform. That's what it is. You know, it's the platform on YouTube. You just this is supposed to be a serious sports talk show.
Listen, that's not why they come here. That's not why we do this.
This is supposed to be award-winning sports talk, Cole. This is supposed to be highbrow stuff that we end up talking about Anthony Mackey playing Malcolm X.
That's not what you told me when you suggested we do this.
Don't you leak information on me? We got a producer and everything. This is supposed to be award-winning highbrow stuff like the sports reporters and Outside the Lines and all of these great sports talk shows, and we end up on here talking about animated cartoons and shit. What is wrong with that?
Q, would you say that
we just like Stephen A. get on YouTube? It's YouTube, man, because Stephen A. got on YouTube. Next thing I know, he breaking down which one of the SpongeBob characters can hoop.
would you say Anthony Mackey is maybe like the Carl Anthony Towns of acting, or
no? I don't want Anthony Mackey to get choked out. Like
not that bad.
No. Anthony Rappaport is the Carl Anthony Towns of acting. Like, no, is it Anthony Rappaport or Michael Rappaport?
Michael Rappaport.
That's the Carl Towns. That's where I'm like, it should have been Mike. Like, but that is gonna be it, Rex. We not about to put that one on. Y'all have a great day. That was all right. We need to go. Chat's getting a little bit rowdy. That is it for QnColb. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. we're gonna get this show serious. We're gonna show up, you know, Cole, we're gonna have a dress code. We're gonna David Stern this show up. You know what I mean? We're gonna get back to respectability.
Ooh. Oh man.
Ain't nothing funnier than like the first couple of years of outfits after David Stern instituted that policy. Like it was a long time before like Dwayne Wade figured it out. Right? Like when the dress code got it was a lot of big ass suits. With like 8 buttons.
The big ass
high breasted, low cut. Oh, it looked like a fucking V-neck. What are you wearing?
Oh, they were struggling, boy. They were struggling.
Tim Duncan just said, "Fuck it." Like,
he was wearing sandals, no socks.
Hey, I bet Tim Duncan was hot when they instituted that dress policy, that dress code, because he's like, I know you ain't even talking about me. Why I gotta try now? Like, I was just fine showing up my jeans and khaki. Okay, like. I don't even wear no jewelry, man. Let me wear my sandals to the damn game.
Oh Lord!
I bet he had like a pair of khaki pants and a polo and like a drawer he called his work pants drawer. Like Tim Duncan strikes me as a man who's made $300 million in his career and still got a pair of good pants. Like, all right, we're not about to roast one of the greatest of all time.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
But y'all have a great day. Everybody have an even better night. This is an award-winning, or at least an inspiring award-winning show. I was going to submit this show to NABJ, man. I don't think we could do that.
I don't think we can do that. It's probably not a good idea. It's probably not good.
Just the main channel. All right. But y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.